I'm worrying about. Hello, everybody, and welcome to session 71 of Papihos. I'm joined here by Jazz, Alpha, and Helminia. James is going to be joining us fairly shortly, but we are sadly missing our Suzanne playing Suna today. So I'm going to be here instead. I know it's not quite what you guys were looking for, but you know, every once in a while you gotta let it go. So I'm gonna be here, and we're gonna be going and seeing what lies ahead for our adventures. However, a quick general statement and announcement: our good barbarian boy Alpha will be taking a little bit of a break. He is off to the great blue yonder. He's dying and then reviving in about 3 weeks' time is what I got from the necromancer. So we're gonna just be prepared for it. But he is here for this week, and so let's enjoy him while he's here. Other than that, I think we're pretty good to go. So, with that in myself having burped, let's get started, shall we? Where we last left off, you all had, first, there had been a bit of a split of the party into two groups. Zex, Rem, and the Arbiter that was the Master of Divination, a Goliath, had went up north to go and try and strike a deal with the dragon named Abrazdul, the World Eater. After that, or during that, I should say, Suna actually went around and was asking questions of Gilgamesh and Nime. With that, trouble was foretold in Nime's card telling, as she pulled a card that may symbolize doom. However, with not much time to think about that, Rem and Zex returned with bad news. One, it seems that, at the very least, the ambassador of war, Yenta, was keeping some things close to his chest, but the party was not sure how many people were following suit with him in keeping secrets. The second thing, the dragon was willing to, at least for the moment, take a deal of 1,000 gold pieces per cart that passes through her territory. Now, everyone understood that that was not a reasonable deal, but dragons seldom are reasonable, as they hold all the cards. With that, a plan was made over another dinner at Greywall Castle. Yenta had actually conscripted an Aarakocran ship, an airship, to go and fight the dragon in the sky, and currently people were thinking over who they currently have available to them, and whether they should fight the forces of the dragon on the ground, or come with Yenta into the air to fight the dragon in the skies. However, with all this done, you all realized you still needed rest. And so rest, you all go and get. The 5 of you retire to your own keep, each of you possibly going to your separate rooms or dealing with small little things before retiring yourselves. And with that, I have a question.
What if I say no?
Well, that's good because I'm not asking you.
Oh, okay, good.
Rem.
Ooh.
Do you...
Wait a minute, for 6 seconds.
What?
What's up?
What?
The fan. He's worried
The
about.
fan. The
Don't
fan.
worry,
Wow.
the fan's still there. You're still cooking.
Oh,
That's good.
cooking with gas.
That's what I like
What's
to
up?
hear.
Does Rem normally dream?
Oh, that's sure, yeah.
Sure.
I've been known to have a dream.
So it doesn't necessarily start out odd. As you retire, just like any night, you unfasten the armor that you have, you set your bag and other tokens to the side of the bedstand, and you fall into a deep sleep. However, as you fall into the sleep, normally dreams start off with a warm feeling as you are cradled in the embrace of fond memories, good things to look back on and reminiscing. However, with tonight, there's a difference. Something that immediately puts you on edge. Everything pauses. You begin in an inky black void. Your feet have purchase. It's almost like you are standing on glass. You hear nothing but your own heartbeat. What do you do?
I'm not used to this inky blackness, though, am I?
This is not familiar.
I'm gonna look around and see if I can see my hands.
As you look, your hands look very thin. Not as if they're fully there. They're not opaque. You're about 10% of opacity. There's small, barely visible traces of skin.
Am I hearing anything outside of my heartbeat? Am I hearing anything else?
Currently nothing. You're just standing in an abyss.
I'm standing like I can feel myself touching the ground.
You can feel almost like you're standing on almost like a jet black glass. Maybe obsidian.
I'll start walking.
As you do, your feet step and you expect to hear the clink or the pat of soft either metallic boots or soft leather against this glass-like surface, but instead you hear the sound of cold stone. As you continue walking through, small shapes begin to appear to you. Small structures begin sprouting up out of the inky blackness until you can see small structured thatch buildings, and then they become wood, some stone, as a town begins to appear before you. Unfamiliar. And you watch as you continue to walk through this steadily growing town as small, thin, barely visible forms walk past you. Slowly. At first, you would think it's ghosts, but then you can see small, faint hints of expressions on each of their faces as they go in further and further detail. Things are becoming to almost slit into place around you. You walk further, and the incline begins to make itself known. You're climbing up a small cobblestone hill. And as you look forward, you can see this hill rising before you. till it forms into a castle. Not a castle that you've seen before, no, not Grey Wall or Fourmount. This is something different, a honestly small, barren castle compared to the other two, twisted, wrong, inky black. As you kind of unconsciously begin to climb more and more, you watch the incline begin to fade away, and with it, the town behind you fades, the castle in front fades, and you're in a room. This large circular room, unworked but carved stone surrounding you, and in the middle, a pit. You can still only hear your heartbeat.
It's just a room with a pit. There's no door or anything.
You do not see a door.
I'm going to tentatively look over the edge of the pit, but I don't want to fall into it.
You can hear your footsteps walk up to the side of the pit. You peer over and you watch as it seems to extend endlessly. The same inky blackness that you started in, filling this almost like a well. And then you watch as something reaches out of the blackness. This long, slender, pale white hand reaches out and then grabs onto seemingly nothing, and you can watch this slender hand pull itself up almost as if it's climbing a ladder. And then a second hand out, grabs, climbs, and as you watch, almost as the blackness becomes liquid, you can see a woman, elven in appearance, a long black cloak over, and her eyes sunken, crying. The same inky black ichor that you can see makes up the pool itself as she climbs and climbs and climbs until she is right beneath you, looking. And then you feel something's presence behind you. Do you look away?
Can I insight check the presence?
Sure.
Ooh. Can I have advantage because it's my dream?
Go for it.
Nat 20 for a total of 30.
You're just simply almost glancing behind you, keeping whatever is in front of you and down in your main sight, but in your peripheral you can see a figure standing taller than you, maybe twice as tall, 5-6-ish feet. You can see this dark red maroon coat, and you can see small bits of maybe bone or glass or metal coming out of the hood. You watch as they reach up in your peripheral, a hand up, outstretched as almost it's going to clasp something, but instead it just closes. And you're watching in your main view this elvish feminine figure reaching up, one hand on this invisible ladder as the other towards you, and then large skeletal hands rise up out of the depths, slam over her face, and all you can see as they begin to pull and tear as she desperately hangs on is just another full, non-black ichor tear fall from her cheek as she lets go and is immediately dragged completely into the void. And you hear this small, almost rippling sound of water. As the ground around you begins to shift and move. And you can feel yourself slightly slipping towards that hole. What do you do?
Am I able to look behind me and see the person that was there?
Absolutely.
And then I want to try not to slip into the hole as I'm doing that.
Okay, you turn around, taking a step forward, bringing you basically face to their chest. And you can see in their full, this black-faced figure, a void of itself before you can see these large, sickly yellow teeth open in a crooked smile and two eyes glowing white. As the cloak once again is dark red, a maroon, and you can see bits of metal and bone almost put through as stitching through the hood of this cloak. As they smile and hold their hand out in another direction, you feel something grab your leg and you instinctually look down and you can see they're pulling a skeletal figure out as he grabs one leg and then another hand comes out and grabs your other leg. And as you're trying to move away, trying to move out of these skeletal hands, you can't move your feet, and you almost instinctually go to grab the broom and there's nothing on your back, and you go to grab a cymbal and it crumbles, and you can do nothing as two more hands go grab one arm, another hand comes up, grabs the other arm, and you're watching this figure, only the yellow smile and white eyes as he turns away, and you watch as more skeletons rise out of the blackened stone. And now you can see a door. And as this figure kind of moves his hand, the door opens. And you can see the town again. The twisted streets, the cobblestone hill, that sad blackened castle. The figures moving away. And the skeletons begin to move. And they move faster, and they pour out of this door, and you can feel yourself moving against it, trying to stop it. And then you wake up. Covered in sweat, breathing hard, and with bruises on your wrists. Do you wish to go back to sleep?
If I can, I gotta see more of the dream. I'll get up and look around for a second before I go back to bed. Am I noticing anything weird about these bruises outside of them being, I don't know, ghost bruises?
You're not noticing anything odd about the bruises. You can make a quick medicine check.
Fuck! 22.
You all right there?
I'm good. It's a
Um,
wonderful day in the neighborhood.
as you kind of examine your wrists, they're not like nail scratches or bruising from like a punch or something. They look like they're inflicted with something incredibly dense, almost as if it was a bone like pulling against you.
I'm looking around my room. Am I seeing anything? I gotta check my holy symbol. Where's my holy symbol?
Your holy symbol is still on the nightstand next to you as you kind of go over to it and you look. And it has changed.
Wrong with my holy symbol.
Your holy symbol is, I believe, a amulet that goes around your neck showing the weeping eye of your goddess. Correct?
Yes.
That eye has changed color to an inky black.
Kana check.
Okay.
15.
15. It does not seem that anything helpful will get from approaching this in a logical way.
Religion check.
Sure.
Nat 20. For a
You
total of 23.
the symbol that you have besides the breath you yourself takes is the closest thing you have to your goddess. Your symbol has been through a lot. It would not be manipulated so easily. You think that there might have been divine influence in what just happened.
Am I fully awake?
Yeah, you feel like you're fully awake.
We gotta go for that nighttime prayer. I had a nightmare. I gotta get some guidance on this.
Okay.
I'm going for that nighttime prayer.
Okay. As you go there, I would like you to make a religion check with advantage.
Nat 20 again.
Jesus
For a total of 23. This means one of us is gonna die today.
Not necessarily. However, as you kind of kneel and almost step to the window and just kneel, and there's a slight breeze coming through that almost chills you. And this time, your mind gets a picture of it. Not before of how it started in an inky black abyss. Something different. As your mind goes and watches as you guys seemingly are in the next day or sometime in the future. You can see Gil sharpening his sword. You can see Nime working on her new pistol. You can see Zex talking to different people in the Mages Guild. You can see Suna just quietly working on a potion. And then your mind flashes over and you're in streets, but this time it's similar to the streets you saw in your dream, but this time they are full and crisp and clear. And instead of people walking across them, you can see undead figures moving slowly, tearing at walls and streets. And you yourself, you can see a view of you, almost just your eyes, not anything else, moving up the street into the hill. And you can see the castle once again as it is now lying as a ruin. Something powerful seemingly have toppled the main tower. And your eyes move around towards the back as you can see a graveyard that has been sprawled across and a large crypt that has been moved open. And you can see slowly more beings pouring out of it. And then you wake up. You thought you were praying, but unbeknownst to you, you fell asleep. As the sun shines through that window and warms your face, the rest of your body remains cold with what you saw.
Am I still bruised?
You look up and you are no longer bruised.
Is my symbol still altered?
Your symbol, however, is still altered.
I don't recognize that town at all, do I?
You do not. But you feel like you could describe it. You feel like you had such a vivid experience just now that you could say that you've been there. You just don't know where that is.
Oh. Did I still get long rested?
Yes, you did.
I have to start my morning prayers, as usual.
Okay.
You let me know how those go.
They go normally enough, as nothing odd happens. But it does feel a bit off.
Off how?
Off as in currently, almost as if like you've picked up a line and whoever is there is currently busy. It feels empty. You still feel something go through, but this almost ebb and flow and warmth of the connection that you've grown so used to seems different.
Okay.
The rest of you wake up without an issue. Zex, Gilgamesh, Nime, you all come up or downstairs, whether Gil is in the forge or not, for breakfast. And Rem seems to take a little bit longer than normal, but it happens to the best of us.
It's quite a lot longer because Rem was already a late rise. So what's usually 20 minutes is 40.
But as the days...
I want to go check on him.
Okay, of course.
I'm the breakfast maker, after all. I have to make sure that everybody eats this morning.
All right. You head your way upstairs, get to Rem's room.
I'm going to knock a few times, and Nime is going to kind of stick her nose in the crack of the door and say, "Hey, Rem, just wanted to check in on you. You know, you're a little later than normal. I brought you food if you want it."
Am I available to open the door?
Oh, yeah. You hear her.
I'm gonna swing the door open.
Good morning, or afternoon, I suppose. Here's some breakfast that I made. Are you okay? You look great as usual, but a little bit more roughed up.
I'm ignoring this and going downstairs.
Nime is going to take a deep sigh and follow after.
The other two of you, whether you are done with lunch or not, see Rem, closely followed by Nime, walk down the stairs.
We're starting the day drinking.
With Gil in the room?
Yes.
And characteristically, the look isn't gonna be, as dirty as it usually is. It'll be a lot lighter, but there's still definitely, if you look hard enough, there's definitely a hint of a look that Gil is gonna give Rem.
I'm returning a grimace. And I'll roll whatever you want me to do for that.
You guys don't have to roll.
Oh yeah, I'm returning the grimace.
How grimacy are you looking?
Like if I had to roll for it, I'm above 15 grimace.
Oof. Gil will just return with a nod and stop giving Rem dirty looks.
We're getting
Nime
2
feels
cups deep.
tense in this situation. She's actually going to go up to her room.
Okay.
Nime doesn't want any part of this.
We're getting 2 cups deep before I say anything. Good cups.
You want some of the Firebrand whiskey or whatever it is that I have?
I have a cask of it in the kitchen.
While Rem is going, after Rem's first cup, seeing him fill a second, I'll ask, someone have a hard night last night?
Yes. A very rough night.
That's
Shows. You, what? Chickening out about the dragon?
Been given a divine revelation. I wouldn't call it chickening out. I'm needed somewhere.
where you needed.
I don't know.
How are you
And
supposed
so-
to get there if you don't know where it is?
The first place you look is the bottom of a glass, huh?
If you've been touched by the divine, you understand. If you have been, you'd understand.
And
I
matter
know
of
not where
fact,
this
I have.
castle
been.
lies, but I can tell you what it looks like.
Shoot.
I'll describe to them the castle that I saw in the dream.
Does castle ring any bells? I don't think I've seen very many I've probably seen less castles than Rem has.
Am I rolling a check? Sounds like your god wants us to go to Dentor.
And then that's where I'm going then.
Sick.
And the rest of us are supposed to sit and wait for your glorious return?
I'm
You can
coming
come or you
with.
could not. I just know where I have to be.
Nothing better to do.
Okay. Are we going
Um,
now?
Now,
I'm gonna. Is Suna around? Is Suna still in her room?
Before I do that, I will apologize to chat because that description of the castle was redacted because my mic was not working during that. My bad.
Oh, poggers.
It's okay. The black stone castle with one central tower going down. Zex recognized it as he was there with April, the city of Dentor, seaside. My bad. Suna is still up in her room. She has not come down.
I'll go and give Suna a quick knock and just say we're plotting to leave, so I figured you might want to come with us.
Oh,
And then
okay. As you can
then
hear
I'll-
this sound of like glass like tinking and moving. I'll be there.
I'll move to Nime's room and give the same message.
Nime, you hear the knock?
Yeah, I hear the knock. I hear the knock, and I'm just gonna say, "Come in," because I can't. I'm tinkering right now. I can't hear anything through my door.
I guess I'll open the door.
You open the
What-
door, and you can immediately, your nostrils are assaulted by the smell of grease and gunpowder.
Oh, hi, Gil. How can I help?
We're planning to leave.
We're planning to leave.
Apparently Rem's received I think divine something or other. Apparently he's being called by his god to go to Dentor, and I figured I don't know, let everyone know if they want to come with.
Okay. Well, maybe it'll give me a chance to actually use this thing. And she's gonna hold up her little pistol and then stand up and start packing things. Quote, quote.
Okay,
Um
go for it, Gil.
I'm not gonna ask Nime, but how small are those guns in my hands? Like, can I make a rough guess of like, can I fit one of these guns in like the palm of my hand?
You'd be able to fit one in your hand. Would it be comfortable? No.
Okay.
I'm a medium-sized creature.
Yeah.
I am.
Okay, but
You're in the middle of medium-sized creature. Gil is
I'm on the upper
a
side.
different species with different hand, basically,
just different
larger
hands.
furled scaled fingers.
You know what? Just for shits and gigs, Nime's gonna hand the gun over to Gil and say, "Hey, can you hold this for a second? I need to grab my bullets and put them in my bag."
I guess
it-
Gil like just put out his
yeah.
hand just flat, just
It-
kind of leave it there.
Yeah, looking at it, it wouldn't be a problem for you to use it and fire it. It's definitely not your forte. It would be able to fit within your palm and such, but it's basically like pulling the finger all the way back to fit it in the trigger. Little bit dicey.
this wasn't made for your man hands. This has a woman's touch.
A woman's touch.
This is a woman's touch.
If,
That's
if
how we
I
wanna do
really, if I
We're
really
having
wanted
lady
to,
talk. Sleep.
Having lady talk.
If I wanted
Oh,
to,
that's
could I like
banging.
crush? And I'm not going to. But could I theoretically like wrap my hands like around the gun and just kind of like,
Squeeze.
yeah, like clench and just kind of like break it?
You could certainly try to break it, but you could definitely squeeze.
I don't want to, but
Firmly
just-
grasp it.
You could definitely firmly grasp it.
I mean, I have a pretty good strength roll. I bet I could break it. Anyway,
If you
I'll
break
just...
it, you have to buy me the materials to make a new one.
I'll just hold the gun for Nime and give it back, and then once I'm done
I'll
being
grab
needed,
it back.
Yeah.
I'll just head back downstairs.
And Nime, you have a little bundle of bullets that you can attach to your side now, and you have a spot that you holster the pistol. You can see Suna kind of comes out with this second bag. You can see she kind of folds over, and the five of you meet at the dining room of your keep again.
We're taking the teleportation circle, just so you guys know.
I've actually got to go grab some stuff. So I'm gonna get dressed for the day. I'm skipping a breakfast. We're just
Whoa.
2 drinks. Yeah, I'm skipping breakfast. 2 drinks. I don't know. I'll take some of that thick cut bacon. That shit looks fire.
I mean, if I see any of them Rams uneaten breakfast anywhere, I will be eating it.
I'm going to slap Gil's hand if he even goes for it, and I'm going to pack it up in a separate thing and slip it over to Rem, hoping that he'll take it.
I'm everywhere.
Hey.
I'm eating the
Gil,
bacon and I'm dipping. Like, I'm not even sitting here to eat the bacon. I'm not sitting down. I'm getting my shit ready and I'm walking out the door.
Gil is giving an upset look at Nime.
Okay.
Nime will look at Gil and say, if Rem doesn't eat it later, you can have it. Or if you ask him and he says you can have it, I'll give it to you.
Gil just looks upset. He's just upsetty.
Am I hearing this conversation?
I'm gonna roll luck for that.
Like he says, I'm
yes,
flitting around the house.
you are finishing like leaving as you can hear that.
I'm gonna say, let him eat the breakfast before I like slam the door shut.
Nime will then softly hand over the pack of food.
And in one foul swoop, Gil is going to eat it all.
Okay.
I have a
And the
big mouth,
box.
And
man.
you
Eat the
feel
bento box.
you can feel the wooden fork chew, but like it's fine. Ren,
I've
what are
eaten
you
worse.
going to get?
I gotta go get powdered silver.
Okay.
Whoa.
Sure. Do you know where you'd go for powdered silver?
No, actually.
Okay, then.
So I'm gonna go ask the only person I know.
All right.
O'Brien.
Definitely. As you head down these busy morning streets, you eventually find yourselves in a familiar, reassuring place. The green walls of this enchanted building as it swings open, and you find yourself with a high elven woman kind of looking up. As you can see, she's actually almost just kind of moving her hand lazily, as you can see a quill writing across a tome as she looks up at you and kind of gives a warm smile. Dear, how may I help you, Rem?
I don't know where to find a lot of powdered silver. And I didn't want to go to the effort of looking through town. I have to get moving.
Busy time then, dear. All right.
I don't even know if there's a place where you can buy materials.
Well,
A straight market for it would be nice.
this would be nice for it. How much are you looking for?
About 200 gold worth.
Oh dear, that is quite a lot. Hmm. $200. All right. Okay. Give me a second. And she kind of stands up, and as you watch the quill kind of just drop, you hear some like shuddering past the back where you've seen her go into several times. As she's looking around the actual shelf, but you can hear this kind of rustling in the back behind her. And then she pulls up this small, like almost scroll, kind of unfurls it and begins looking through it as the rattling gets louder in the room behind her. Well, dear, I can't point you anywhere, but I feel obligated to help a good friend out. So, and then you can hear this large clang as you see several silver ingots kind of pass through the curtained door. I'll see what I can do for you. As you can watch 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 total bars of silver just float out and thunk, 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 thunk onto the counter. And she kind of pauses and looks. And they should run 200 gold pieces worth. As she reaches behind her, and you can see her hair is neatly folded up, actually into a bun, not let down like she normally does, with 2 kind of strips kind of connecting it. And she pulls one out of her hair and kind of flicks it, and you realize it's a wand. As she draws and pulls it across, and you watch all 5 of them just kind of turn into powder. I think that will work just nicely. Will this work out well for you, dear? As she begins
Suits my needs perfect.
pulling up the entire thing as one large powdered thing, and then it begins to furl and spiral until she pulls out this kind of like lined box, and she flips it open, and you can see the powder just drain into the box, and she snaps it shut. I do think this is the first time I've done good business. People haven't been in for a while since you've left, dear. Everyone has it in their mind that I have to rest more. Call it my pleasure. And she pushes the box over to you.
I'm gonna take this. And ask her if she knows where I can find diamonds too. That one's a bit tricky. I'll try the jeweler for that one.
You would try the jeweler for that. Diamonds are getting harder and harder to get, dear, and it's never easy. Good luck. I would just like you to roll a straight investigation check for diamonds.
Straight investigation check.
Investigation.
11.
11. You're able to find not much, as the jeweler's saying that people have been coming through and buying diamonds more and more, and so they fly off the shelves, but he does have one, and it's very small, and you can see and you can guess as he like pulls it over to you that it'd be worth 200 gold pieces.
I can take it.
Well, and you can spend the 200 gold pieces and get a 200 gold piece diamond.
I'll ask him, why is everyone coming in for diamonds?
I don't know. It's diamonds are always popular. It's the standard thing for marriage, as always, but people keep coming in, and I don't think it's for betrothing someone. People come in looking more rough and tumble and buy up my supply. It's good for business, but very bad for having a full stock.
If anything else comes through, if you can hold on to anything for me, I'd appreciate it.
Make a persuasion check.
12.
12. He just kind of looks at you and nods. If you are guaranteed business, I could stand to hold a few items. You have a good day.
You enjoy the rest of your day.
Okay.
And then I gotta stop at the castle, I guess.
Okay.
This is gonna take like half of my day.
Sure.
This whole fucking adventure, isn't it? How quick can I do this?
You know where you're going with Barris. It takes you a little bit for the jeweler. It's a couple of hours, and you guys have started later. You guys will be getting there around evening. On Rem's schedule. So, Zex, Gil, and Nime, if there's anything specific you guys want to be doing for prep yourselves, just let me know.
I want to know if there's patches.
Zivin had kind of held off on making patches for specific reasons. He was a little bit more focused on worrying about something else. But he promises, he promises you he'll start working on stuff again. But he apologizes. If he asks if there's anything specific you want him to focus on.
Oh gosh, what is even allowed on patches?
So patches, there is the baseline set of patches, and anything Zivin has been able to get, I think, second level spells and below into patches as well.
Okay. I'll get back on that because I don't know. I'm gonna do a little bit more research to see if there's anything that I want specifically.
He does warn you, putting spell scrolls into patches is by far the most expensive thing.
Yeah, I know. I figured with the Featherfall stuff.
Mm-hmm. But with that, unless if there's something else that the three of you would like to do?
Yes.
Zex?
2 things. I need more eye juice, and I need to go get the Gem of Engorgement back from Barris.
Did this man just call it eye juice?
Eye juice. How much eye juice do you want to buy?
Let's just get another 100 gold piece worth, so 4 more doses.
Okay, as you further ingratiate yourself into Logden's graces. You're going back to buy the Gem of Engorgement.
I'm not buying it. I loaned it to her. She put it in her little box. I didn't sell it.
And you did get me with that, dear. Good on you for remembering. And you want it back?
I do.
If I may ask, dear, what for?
It could be useful, maybe. We'll see.
And she kind of raises her eyebrow. Please
Imagine you're in the heat
explain
of
to me.
battle, okay?
Explain to me how this would
Imagine
be
you're in
useful.
the heat of battle,
Mm-hmm.
and you reach into a bag of holding and you yank this thing out after telling everyone else to look away, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you just do the most amazing flourish ever and get all the bad guys to look at it so they eat it.
Didn't you say
And then
you
die from
had?
suffocation instead.
Didn't you say you had to touch it to be under its effects?
No. I said you had to focus on it. Because that's what I was told, Jacob. You told me focus.
It's not what you told Barris. Someone else
Who
told
the
Barris
hell
to
is
look
who the
at
hell
it.
is Jacob? Who the
I don't
hell?
know. I don't know.
I
It's
fired.
amazing, right?
Jacob did a terrible job at the shop, so I fired him. I'm sorry, but I was. Well, I've any time I've done any digging on it, the small time I have, I've had it wrapped in a cloth just to avoid skin to skin contact. But it is yours.
I appreciate it. I'll stick it back in my bag of holding.
All right.
Without focusing on it. I'll like peripheral vision it, swipe it, throw it in the bag.
Okay. Anything else?
No, that's it for me.
Gil.
I honestly just want to be hanging out at the keep with Suna.
Okay.
I just just vibe, just good homie time.
Good homie time.
Good homie time.
As Suna's just kind of like, I borrowed some money from Rem, and I thought we were gonna prepare for the dragon thing. Oh well.
I mean, I wouldn't disregard the dragon. I would say I think that's still very likely to happen. Why did you need money? What are you what are you doing?
Potions. Rem taught us. You know,
Oh,
you were helping Zex. It was a while ago.
what potions?
Healing. You know,
Oh.
not dying, kind of important with the dragon.
It seems important enough to some.
Kind of really important, you know? I don't know. If we have time, maybe I'll do that. Alright.
Well, you get back to it if you'd like. I think they might be out for a while.
Well, if I have time. And she kind of like flips open the bag and begins sorting ingredients. Alright. Nime, Gil, and Zex all done. Rem, you head to Greywall Castle.
You see, I know what patches I want. I
Okay.
don't know if it's too late for that.
Just message me and we'll say you told Zivin that.
Cool, got it.
Rem,
Yes.
you head to Greywall.
I have to find. Who was it that told us about the issue in Dentor?
Vardair.
I'm gonna see if I can find him.
Okay. As you go through, let's see who you are running into right now. As you kind of walk through, you step out into a sort of inner secondary courtyard, and you can see an interesting kind of sight, as there is a this courtyard is filled with 50 men and women, all dressed in very, very immaculate, like almost half plate armor, and you can see that they have red accents going on in the crest of Greywall emblazoned on their chest, and they're doing drills. And as it's happening, you can see not just a familiar face of Tyron, not in the actual Legion, but just kind of watching from the side, just blissfully interested. You can see Yenta and Vardair. Yenta kind of like yelling out drills as all of the 50 people kind of move in sync, and then as they're going through a full drill, kind of side talking to Vardair.
I'm going to approach them but not interrupt their conversation.
Okay. And it is in kind of like the cycle of going from one subject to the other, of Vardair going, I just feeling we might have time was bought, but I feel like it would be better to assume that we will have less, as terrifying as that statement is. And he kind of like looks back and, oh, Welcome. Um, uh, is there something that you are requiring or information that you are bringing to us, Rem?
I'm leaving.
Oh?
We're leaving.
Pray tell where
The
to.
situation you told us about in Dentor is getting much more out of hand than you thought it was. So I'm going to deal with it.
Oh. I will, and kind of looks at Yenta, and Yenta's kind of not, like, trying not to pay attention, but you can tell he's listening in. We will take that as great news. You take care and report back to that little mark and inform the High King that you will be taking care of this issue before the other.
What else can you tell me about Dentor?
Dentor is a bit of a harsher coastal town, generally cold, although not as cold as Forminos seems to get. Just due to high humidity, the structures around kind of degrade faster. But it is one of our oldest cities in Papihos, and stands among much of history. Many monuments to the gods have been made there, and so before, when the gods were much more prevalent in more people's lives, Dentor was a thriving place where people went and sought divine guidance.
You said statues of the gods have been made in Dentor?
Not statues, sanctuaries. Used to be plenty of churches and the like. It's where a lot of people say religion stems from in Papihos. However, it's as less and less people have come to deeply care about the god's influence. It's become more of a historical city than a important one, such as Sabline or Greywall itself. But it is still held in high regard, and it is still very important to us, of course.
And of the man that came out of the crypt, do you know his name?
No, but the Lord Triton, the man who oversees Dentor, would probably know more. We can send message ahead so that he expects you all. Is it just you?
I'm assuming the others will be going with me, but this is of my own will.
I will inform
This
them
is
of
a
more
personal
people.
adventure.
Oh. I will, kind of shakes that off, and I will make sure he is informed that there are people coming. He should be fairly ready to receive you all.
Okay. I'll be off then. So letting you know that we're leaving town.
Okay. I will inform the High King, and we will see you shortly.
I'm leaving.
Okay. You head out. And for all of this, you all meet back at the keep. As soon as people start getting back, Suna begins packing up her stuff, kind of throwing the bag over her shoulder, and just everyone's there now.
Okay.
What do you guys do?
Is it something about leaving in a certain way?
Oh, yeah. I'll put the circle down. Are we ready to go?
I have everything I need.
I mean, I'm all packed up.
I don't see why not.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll put the circle down.
All right, as you trace the circle that you have traced months ago, you guys feel it light up with blue energy, and one after the other, you step through. And as you walk through, you enter a area. Immediately, you can feel the humidity raise and the temperature drop a bit. And the castle itself is very dark. As you enter into the same circular area that you were used to, Zex, but this time the ambience is darker. Less pleasant. And as you all kind of look around, I would like the four of you to make insight checks.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
17.
16, 17.
3.
3, Gil.
I do
Gil,
not know who or where
Gil,
I am.
You notice. You needed a low one for no. You guys kind of step through, and as all of you are just looking around, trying to take in the place, Rem and Zex, you first notice and can see a older, more downtrodden-looking man, kind of hunched over, kind of stepping down from an upward balcony platform. As you can see a man, long white and gray beard, kind of sunken eyes, like he hasn't been sleeping a lot. Welcome. I greet you to our humble castle. Are you those that Varder said would be coming?
Yes.
I thank you for your haste. Come, and I shall tell you all you need to as we peruse the grounds. And the man, as he's slumped over, you can see he's only about like 4.5 feet tall as he's slumped over, his head kind of sunken in, as he kind of looks over all of you and moves past. And you can see this place, this castle, although it is smaller than those that you've seen before, still a castle, and still looked in its day would look amazing. You can see posts where guards should be, areas where like the view would be of an amazing dinner table filled with people eating their fill and enjoying their time, empty and left to kind of gather dust as if it hasn't been used in months. The man kind of moves his way through until he gets to the doors that open to outside. He just pushes one of them open and looks back. I apologize that I am all that could greet you for Dentor's sake, but I am low on staff at the moment. People have been leaving. I do not blame them. How much have you been told? It's the door.
Is this something we should be talking about publicly?
There is no harm in talking publicly when there is no public to hear of it. As he steps out into the open. There is little on this hill besides myself at the moment. There are 6 people in the castle. Come, follow. And do you guys follow him outside?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
As you guys follow, you can feel the kind of presence of the humidity on your faces and armor as he walks to the left of exiting the castle over, and Rem, it looks the same. You can see the hill stretching down into the town. You can see the twisted, gnarled stonework. As he leads you around, he goes, "Your residence has already been accounted for and the inn notified. You will hear what tales I have to say, what information I can give, and then you can rest and prepare for the coming excursion."
Can I medicine check this man?
Sure. 15. As you kind of watch him just kind of move, his gnarled fingers moving, his sunken eyes, his kind of breathing with every step, this is a man that is exhausted, and by your best guess, might have not been able to have slept in days. At the very least, not slept well.
Okay.
Tell me, what do you already know so that I may fill in the blanks?
I know the town's rotting from the inside out.
That is very true. This town of mine is home to many things older than the new rebirth of this nation. With it, most of it is allegedly buried underneath. This hill and our castle keeps it within, as it used to be home to the old world's castle and capital. The family of lords here used to be buried on this hill with everything else. We've had nary not an issue until recently. And it was, sad to say, a matter I could have only blamed myself for. I wished to explore further my family's crypt, as there was a sealed-off entrance to deeper into the crypt and catacombs in its whole. I sent a team down there, and they brought back much. Old paintings, old items, words of long past. And one day they did not return. I sent volunteers down there, or more I paid mercenaries to go down, and they did not return. And this went on for a month until I deemed it unsafe for souls burdened by greed to go and delve down there. I've been taking not but volunteers and warning them wholeheartedly untold things lie below. One man has managed to survive it, but he did not survive outside of it. I'm sorry to say, this crypt has claimed everyone that has been in there for the last almost year now. It was my foolishness, as I as a lord had a title I wished to upkeep, and so did not inform the High King about my predicament, wishing to deal with it before someone else tried to solve my problem. I see now I was a fool. As he walks, you can see he gets up to the gate of a cemetery, and crawling graves spread across until the centerpiece, a large crypt that you recognize, Rem, with the door pushed open. What do you guys do?
Are there any markings on this crypt?
You'd have to get closer and actually get into the grave site. You're not in the actual graveyard yet.
I'm gonna ask if he minds me investigating.
You are welcome to do whatever you like in preparation. As he takes this large set of keys and unlocks the gate, you guys are free to go into the graveyard.
I'm going straight to the crypt to investigate.
Okay, make an investigation check.
Can I have advantage?
No, just straight roll,
Can I have guidance?
if you wish to.
You want inspiration?
Inspire me.
You've been inspired.
$16.
16. As you look, you can see the markings of the heavy stone door being moved seem to have been made by people and tools moving it aside. The only things that you can see around this are currently stuff that you would expect man-made people to make, whether it's scratches from the stone being carved, scratches from or wear from people pressing their palms against it. Nothing unnatural at the moment.
No markings or anything of that nature?
No markings, just like it's very clean, but as you kind of do go look around, on the inside of it, you can see on the back wall as the stairs itself descend, you can see a worthy place to lie our lords, written in common.
I'm gonna exit the tomb for now. And has anyone attempted to close these doors? I'm gonna ask him.
And people have tried. We were hit with a heavy storm, and as he kind of points it out, you can see that the door itself had been set on the side of the crypt and had sunken down like probably a foot into the actual ground.
Gil,
I was gonna say, yeah, I'm gonna go approach the door and
come close these doors.
I'm assuming it's just like dirt, right?
Yeah,
Like,
it's
kinda
it's
sunken
dirt. It's just it seemed to have sunk very far into it is the problem.
I'm gonna kind of. Is the ground
He
like
may.
somewhat solid right now? Like,
The ground
is
quite
Yo.
solid at the moment.
okay. So what I want to do is, I kind of want to use the ground as a leverage,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to not necessarily like pick the door up and move it. I just want to push the door
Mm-hmm.
just like towards being closed, so I can kind of use like the lip of the ground as leverage to get it up.
Okay.
I'm assuming I have to roll a big ol' strength check for
You
that.
have to roll strength check.
Be guided.
Oh yes!
Inspired.
Oh yes! Is that what, a D4 and a D10?
Yep.
Mhm.
Oh my goodness! If I fail this,
You'll know it's
it's gonna
hard.
be, it's gonna be really embarrassing. Oof. Unnatural 20. That's not that good. That's. Oh wait, no. I'm forgetting numbers. 24. Never mind. There we go. That's a lot better.
24.
24.
As you struggle against this, as you watch Gil's muscles tense and kind of the veins pop as he moves and shifts, This sucker is stuck. It is
Would
not
the ground
moving.
be considered stone for the purposes of stone shape?
It's considered dirt. It is
Could I
not.
still stone shape it?
It is not
What
considered dirt.
What exactly? Okay, so are we dealing with a door right now?
You guys are
Or-
looking at a heavy stone crypt door that has sunken about a foot into ground dirt.
Can I try it one more
You
time?
know,
That represents your
I don't-
attempt, Gil.
I
Dang it.
do have. I don't know if it'll help, but I have a portable ram. We could tie with some rope to the door. One of my patches.
You know a portable ram is like what police use to break open doors, right?
Yeah.
You're tying it to the
Yeah.
door?
Oh, see, when I saw portable ram, I thought the animal.
No.
Let me rephrase.
Portable.
Oh my god!
It is not a ram that is portable sized.
What?
It is-
I thought my patch was a Ford F-150. I'm
what is
sorry.
this?
It's what police
Okay,
use
I
to
mean,
break
we
down
could
doors.
probably use
Dodge
that
Ram.
Right?
Can I,
mean,
use my
maybe.
gasoline patch for my Dodge Ram?
Actually, I do have. Ooh, wait.
Oh,
I
she
have,
has a Dodge Ram in there.
I have a 10-foot hole that I can pull and put under the door.
Make the hole deeper. Door go deeper in hole.
Door go deeper in hole is what will happen.
Start digging it out. I'm gonna use my shovel and we can start trying to dig it out because I want to shut this door for the night.
Can I? Would I? I want to help Rem do that
Sure.
for a while, just kind of like gripping chunks of it, and like ripping it up.
I don't care. Ask. Why is the week?
I have currently muted the players because of a audio incident. It's okay. As it is just me that you can hear, not the music or the people. Reminding people to follow or subscribe if you're watching the VOD on YouTube, or follow on Twitch if you have not been a part before. And with that, hopefully, let's get back to it. As we come back, Rem and Gil take out shovels and begin driving it
Oh,
into
I'm using my hands.
Oh, you just
I'm
digging.
I'm just gripping like chunks of dirt and just like
Rip it and rip it.
All right.
That's exactly what I'm doing.
As you guys do
Rip and
this,
rip.
I would like both Rem and Gil to make athletics checks.
I have a proficiency in that now. Oh my
I'm
goodness.
going to die.
It's this is so handy. Oh. I got a 21.
I got a 6.
All right, Gil, you're having
Even out pretty
you're
good.
having a good time. Rem,
Yeah.
even with the shovel, this sucks.
Rem hates this.
Rem, you take a point of exhaustion after this is done.
Why?
That's embarrassing.
As this is my introduction to warning you guys, as you will have this night to prepare for what you need. Dentor's underground is going to be a little bit difficult than your standard dungeon crawl. There will
Whoa.
be consequences toward more dire consequences towards failed rolls. You will be tracking your rations for your time down there. And more fun things that will get revealed when they are prevalent.
See, Gil actually doesn't suffer any consequences because he's just built different.
You also succeeded on the
So-
check.
That's true.
But for right now, Rem, you're just covered in sweat.
What caused this? Am I noticing an unearthly exhaustion?
Yeah, this is not normal.
Can I I don't want to say negate the exhaustion, but in a way, seeing Rem overheat, do what I did in Daycaria and like cup my hands and like softly blow a nice cool breeze over
Yeah.
him to cool him down.
It feels nice and it helps cool him down, but he still takes that point of exhaustion for the rest of the night.
Damn.
So
And
when I do
Rem-
my long rest, will I be normal?
Yeah,
Alright.
you'll be normal.
Well,
I was using this one will be kind of inconsequential. This
It's a
is what I'm
foreshadowing.
using as my foreshadowing of going in of
yeah.
this will be a more interesting and more difficult area.
So basically, JC just hates us, right? And he just wants to take it out just on
No,
this
this
one,
will just
this
be
one dungeon.
some different mechanics. Just something that will wear out their welcome in a couple sessions, and then we'll be back towards your regularly scheduled programming. But Dentor, Rem, as you can just kind of innately see and feel, there is something deeply wrong about this ground that you are digging into. There is something
Religion.
wrong about this section.
Religion check
Sure.
with guidance. Hog. 23.
23. As you're feeling this does feel as if there are otherworldly forces kind of present. It's a weird mixture of the standard wrong that you've felt when facing magic, but it is something deeper. It is this town. Rotting is such a good word, as the ground itself is infected with this sickness that you've been led to.
Opened up a curse. This is a curse, isn't it? Something of the
sounds
sort. Like, this isn't illness. This isn't like medicine-based sickness. Like, this is like the local single
Is it
woman when you called her
plague?
spinster left a thing on your door and now you're impotent kind of curse.
Oh boy.
Yup. Speaking of curses, is there enough ground that I can try and pry this door off again?
I'm going to say after all of this, you and Nime, Rem kind of sitting aside being exhausted, are able to actually muscle up this door after this time and move it into place, effectively blocking the way into the crypt.
I kind of want to, like, I'm gonna give Nime a high five.
So it's closed now then.
It is closed now.
I'm going to reciprocate the high five.
Congratulations on reciprocating the high five.
We are friends here.
Do
I
things
could
feel
be
better now that the
friends.
door is closed?
Strangely,
Feel worse.
strangely, no.
It's worse now?
It's not worse. You feel tired, and you know that it's only going to get worse when you go down there.
Can we attribute Rem's tiredness because he's old?
Make an intelligence check.
Rem's old. I'm stupid. I got a nat 1.
He is obvious. He was kind of like the face of the party for a long time while ago, and he did that because he's like, I have secondhand experience from other people. He's old. Like he probably has kids who have kids at this point.
Can I tell you
Oof.
a secret about my past as a different cleric in a different campaign? I
He's
want you to
old.
remember something very
He's
important, Alpha. I'm at ball height with inflict wounds. Keep this in mind.
So
Mad cause old.
with this
Smash
stuff in
smash.
mind, you find out that this is Lord Triton. He tells you, and he also lets you know that your inn has kind of been ready, which is named Tiber's Inn.
Oh,
I'm not staying here.
It's not at the castle. It's
You gotta
down
find a
in the
different
town.
inn.
There's only
You
one
gotta find a
person who has stayed in town. This is the only inn available. I apologize. It is quite a nice inn.
It's no knock to the inn. It's just a terrible memory.
I apologize. But your expenses have been paid at that inn if you wish to use it. And I implore you to prepare and rest. Do not
How many levels of exhaustion does this man have? Because at 6, you just die.
I know. He's definitely got some. He's not moving quickly.
I'll ask him when's the last time he got a good night's sleep.
He kind of like thinks. 7 months ago.
This man is already dead.
Oh, you all must take great caution and ready yourselves. Do not just fly into the crypt, as some have already done. Ready yourselves, and I will wait to unlock the graveyard once again.
The man that came back, that didn't survive,
Yes.
where was he buried? And what did he bring back with him?
He had not anything on his person. He did not even have his mind left to him. He muttered about hands grasping from the dark, objects pulling you in, darkness that won't leave, screams that come from nowhere. That was what I was able to find from him. The man was gone. Unable to hold more than 2 words at a time. Oh, if you excuse me, I will. Excuse me. And he kind of turns and begins shuffling off. And the 5 of you are left at the entrance of the graveyard.
I'll tell them of the unnatural exhaustion.
Well, what are we supposed to do about it?
Find the source of the affliction and weed it out.
Do you think it's lower?
Yes. Deep within the bowels of the crypt.
Okay. Out of character, we're not in a situation in which we can go back, are we?
It's up to you guys.
When you say go back, how do you mean?
I mean, go back so we could be better prepared to go deeper into this.
Oh yeah, I'm taking like a day or 2 before I go
Yeah.
down.
You guys
Cool.
have
Okay.
the ability to go through the town, seeing what's left and gather supplies that you need.
I would like to do that. Do I need to roll anything for that?
You guys, if we want to move this, say that you guys go into the town, I just, one, need to know where you guys are planning on sleeping. You guys do have paid for rooms at Tiber's Inn. And what supplies are you guys getting?
I want to be looking for rations, as well as anything I can use as a weapon. Maybe like a big stick or something, alongside what I have.
This is my gun and this is my beaten stick.
Sometimes, you're just not good enough for the silvered bullets, and I gotta bash your head in with a big stick. It's just that's how it is.
I'm so confused, but because you have 2 swords and
2 swords, a
gun.
bow, some other swords,
you have
a
a
gun,
bow.
Yeah,
a flail.
I know. I have.
You have so
I
much
guess I
shit.
do have everything. I just don't know. Okay, I'll
If you
be
wanna-
honest.
if
I
you
don't
wanna-
know how the fuck to use the flail or the whip, so I'm like scared to use them. And
You
plus,
Bro.
what do you mean you just, bro?
Just
I don't know.
swing it.
Yeah, but it has like effects and stuff, which I am trying to keep track of too.
Mm-hmm. So.
But I'm mostly looking for rations. Rations. If I can find. Are we still doing that thing where you guys are enchanting my bullet chambers?
We're way beyond that.
Okay.
I left all the parts at home for that too.
Damn shit. Okay, no problem. No problem.
Okay. As you think about how many rations you want to buy, let me know. And then anyone else, anything that they want to get for preparation.
I'm gonna go around town and just kind of poke around, see what I can find. Then I gotta start making some things.
You're gonna make some things?
Yeah.
Anything specific you're looking for?
I'm scoping out the area that I saw within the dream, see if I can find anything. Anything of just notice or importance.
Okay. Notice and importance.
Anything that I remember or that, would be beneficial. Anyone that looked familiar from the dream, anything like that.
Okay. And
I did want to see what they brought back up from the crypt, because he said they brought things back up. I want to see what came back up.
sure. So you'll be going back to do that, but there's nothing you're buying. I should say. We're going through the buying first, and then we'll get all that.
If they have anything that I can use, like diamonds or anything like that, I'll take it.
There's no diamonds.
I do
Diamonds,
have
silver.
gems. I know you said you could use gems. Or does
What
it have to be specifically diamonds?
What gems do you have?
I got 2 emeralds and a sapphire.
I can use them for something, but like not anything that'll be relevant right now. No.
Okay. Is there okay, I guess we're going through buying right now. Is there anywhere that's like Spectral Allies that maybe has patches? I just want to have as many patches as possible. You never know when this shit'll come in fucking handy.
There's I would like I'll have both of you make investigation checks. Zach, skill anything?
A week's worth of
I'm
rations.
dumb.
A week's worth of rations.
I have an 18.
18.
I'm 12.
Okay. 5 days worth of rations cost 25 silver pieces, Zex.
Okay.
Okay. Nime. Let's say both you and Rem kind of go walking around looking for stuff.
Okay.
As you're thinking about how many rations you want to buy,
Mm-hmm.
you guys go and you can see there are several shrines built to other people. Rem, if you'd like to make me religion check.
Just one?
Yeah.
No guidance time?
You can have guidance if you wish.
You guided.
It isn't something you have to make a snap thing on.
Oh, wow. 7.
7?
I get a point of exhaustion.
Yeah.
Oh, that's with disadvantage
Yeah, it
too.
is with disadvantage.
Oh, the second one was a nat 20, so
Oh,
7.
7. You don't recognize any of these symbols. You besides, I guess, what you've already seen, which is Bahamut. You see a small shrine to Bahamut, and then you can see a slightly larger shrine, and you can see it in like a courtyard of what looks like it used to be a temple, but looks like it had fallen down and become rubble, with only this small shrine remaining to the god Helm. But there are other shrines dotted through, but you don't recognize any of them.
Thing relevant to me?
None of them are yours.
Okay.
Okay.
So no silver, no diamonds.
No silver, no diamonds. But there is one more thing of interest that you barely managed to clip with that 18. Down near the, as it gets closer to the shore, you can see a small cove where fishing boats come in and out. Nothing big, nothing that an actual large ship could get through. But there is a place that looks like it's been set up. Rounded stone columns that kind of come up and through. And you can see it looks like a parlor of some sort.
I'd like to go investigate that. I'm gonna tap on Rem's shoulder and point and say I want to go in, if you want to come with.
I'm going.
Okay.
You two kind of step through, and immediately the vibe changes.
Is it a bad vibe? Bad vibe?
It's less of a bad vibe. It's more of just a normal vibe. But as you don't it's just the thing is you don't realize that this pressure. Rem certainly has, but you, Nime, haven't realized that there's just been this pressure in your chest until you step through and just feel it lift off of your chest as you step through into this kind of nice polished area, and you can see several different chairs. You can see all these several different chairs that are kind of lined back with these silver trays kind of alongside them, different objects in each of them, mirrors kind of placed besides each chair, and over kind of not lying on the counter, but with his feet up on the counter, and just kind of looks like he was reading, but it's open and on his chest as he's just snoring. This very large orc.
Is there a bell?
Is there a bell?
Yeah, is there a little service bell?
As you kind of look around, there is one on his counter next to him.
I'm gonna ring it.
Okay. Ding, ding. Oh, it's been a while. Oh. Hello.
Hi, I'm sorry to wake you up. I just wanted to ask about potentially some wares you might have.
Oh, don't be. It's my business. What are you doing here? It's been a while since people have come in. Sailors don't stop by like they do.
Oh, did they stop coming?
Yeah, actually. It's pride of it. Of my artwork. Excuse me. Got something caught on my chest. Ram, I'd like you to make an Arcana check.
Arcana time, boys, with disadvantage.
Please, man, please.
Oh, nat one!
Can I make an Arcana check? I know I can do better than this. Please. I'm not even proficient. I can't do it, so it doesn't matter. But
you wouldn't recognize it, but you can make a perception check.
Oh, sweet.
Can I make one of those too?
Sure.
Okay, I got a 17.
17.
12.
12. I do have to reclassify. This guy's a half orc, not a full orc. He's just mostly orc. If he's a 2/3 orc, if you'd ever seen one, as he kind of coughs and looks, you kind of just look around and you can see above each of the mirrors there are these little sigils.
Sigils?
Yeah, magic sigils.
So don't make eye contact with yourself in a mirror, is what you're telling me.
You don't know. As he kind of
I don't want to be
coughs, and he
possessed,
just
JC.
pulls up. He's like, Yemha, I'm excuse me. I a bit of a ink artist, if you will. And he pulls up, and you can see along his arms are just masterfully traced tattoos and different artwork.
I want some of those, but I got fur, so I can't have them.
You don't have fur on your face.
Yeah, I do. I'm a
Not that
furry
much.
lady.
On the soles of your hands and feet.
I guess I could get a smiley face on my hand if I really wanted to.
I am. And Rem, you can make another Arcana check as he kind of shows these off.
16.
16. You can see very carefully traced in. There are... It almost like the tattoos are masterfully crafted to also have runes in them. And you can see them kind of almost shimmer as he moves. Yes, used to be quite a fine business here. But, I got seen by some of the toughest warriors around, looking to up themselves in both the field of the artistic expression, you see, and actually in the field of combat. But, business has been bad for the last half year or so. I couldn't fathom why.
Well, your artwork is beautiful.
Thank you. I'll try my best. It's,
Insight.
Did you also craft those mirrors while Rem's making insight?
13.
No, this is just general mirrors. People like to see when I'm drawing on them sometimes, you know? It's good for business. What was your insight?
13.
13. He looks honest about his wares as he kind of looks through them. He's like, yes, you've ever heard of different arcane inks, as it were.
I'm aware of
Arcane
arcane
inks.
inks, but they're typically for scroll making. I've never seen it done on skin.
That's because it's done by nerds. Now, generally, most of the sailors that had come through this port and visited me, you see, seek me out as they can't read anything, but they still want to be able to keep up with some of the more magical people that come through here, you know? You yourself, you've got some general magic about you, don't you?
I would.
Yeah, some people like to keep up with you, don't they? And so
They
they
do.
they get a little bit of help. It's expensive, as it were, but it's my seal of approval. It'll work.
How expensive is expensive?
Well, it's a thing of generally you need to supply your own arcane. As inks itself, I do have, but what you're looking for, as he shows it, as he himself across just has this massive, like, dazzling wave that kind of, as he moves, it shimmers, and the light itself kind of reveals. They talking about in the thousands they are, because magic ain't cheap. But it's something that will last you your whole life. That's for sure.
So, hypothetically, me as someone who doesn't really have any magic about me, if I got this, it would give me some sort of magical something?
It depends. You want it made from a gem, or you want it made from ink? Gems just give you gem tattoos, as he kind of shows you this, and as you're watching, he's made it so it looks this aqua blue as it goes across, but you can see every side of it has this faint shimmer of... make it just an intelligence check.
Yeah.
Am I making that too?
If you want to.
No, boy. I can't wait.
21.
To 12.
Nime, you can see that the edges of these are actually brilliantly placed and expertly placed emeralds that are in his skin.
That sounds so painful, but I have gems.
It's
But it sounds so cool.
it's a thing of I generally don't charge too much, but the thing is I need a lot of gems to get a desired effect to channel the magic through it. However, I'll make you stronger than anything you've ever seen before, faster than any fuck that can runs through these streets, or smarter than any nerd you've ever come across.
This man's super aggressive.
You
How
got
many
a problem
gems
with
are
me?
we talking here?
I mean, he can find
no.
a problem with me. I guarantee you
So,
won't like what you find.
He kind of goes across this, and so this will be a thing that will go across. You can get a ruby dust tattoo that will provide +1 strength permanently. Emerald gives you 1 to dexterity. Diamond gives you +1 to con. Jade gives you +1 to wisdom. Sapphire gives you +1 to intelligence. Aquamarine gives you +1 to charisma. And then there are fire opals, which give you fire resistance. Black sapphire, which gives you cold resistance. As well as he has a barrier tattoo, which is made out of
I wish I
arcane
would have
ink.
kept my frickin' gems and not sold them, but I did need the money. Okay, so I can't do anything with what I have right now, is what you're telling me. I only have 2 emeralds and 1 sapphire in my inventory.
How much? Like, so they are in the thousands, and so
Yeah.
because again they are expensive.
Mhm.
The every +1 except for con is 2,200 gold worth of that gem.
Okay.
With
and how many? Sorry, gold to platinum.
One
is
gold is, or 1 platinum is 10 gold.
Okay.
And then he charges just a general flat 300 gold piece service fee. The +1 to con is 2,500 worth of diamond. And then the fire resistance and cold resistance are the most expensive, with a 5,000 gold worth of fire opal or 5,000 worth of black sapphire. So it's like most of them are 2,500 total gold, with 22 being of the gem and then 300 for the service fee, with con, fire resistance, and cold resistance being more expensive.
Okay.
And he also lets you know you can only get 1. You cannot get multiple.
That's fine. Okay, so I actually do want to do this. Can we go over what an emerald does and what a sapphire does one more time?
Emerald is +1 to dex.
Okay.
You wanted sapphire?
Yeah.
+1 to intelligence.
God, which one do I need more? Let's do +1 to dex.
You have 2,200 worth of emeralds?
Oh shit. Worth of emeralds? I thought you meant in general.
No, he requires gems. He does tell
I
you,
understand now.
and Rem, this is what's interesting to you. This does catch your ear. He grinds them into dust, and currently on standing, he has 1,000 worth of each type.
Are you willing to part with that diamond dust?
Are you getting a diamond tattoo then?
I just need the dust.
Oh. Let the good lady think first. Maybe she wants to buff her stomach a little bit.
She wants to stay alive, is what she wants.
Buffing your stomach can help you stay alive. And pies can be deadly.
I'll have to come back.
All right.
I don't have the material needed. I will make sure to make good note of this place.
You're welcome to be back at any time.
And while I do that, can I purchase one of the mirrors?
Excuse me? A mirror?
Yes.
What you using it for?
Well, I like the runes on top of the mirrors, and I was just curious if I could have one for my own safekeeping. And this way, it's a visual representation of this place, and I will never forget.
How are you gonna carry that? It's not.
Is it a big mirror?
Yeah, it's like a barbershop mirror.
Why didn't you say that? I thought they were like hand mirrors.
No, they're on the walls, my dude.
Scratch that then.
Scratch that. Okay.
She's got the Dodge Ram and the wall of hand mirrors.
Yeah, exactly. God, dude. There's nothing I can take from this place, and that sucks because I want something.
As for you, it's. I mean, for some reason the taxman stopped coming by the last month or so, but if he comes back, I'm gonna need something to pay him with, so I'd be willing to part with that 1,000 diamond dust for you.
All right.
You pay 1,000.
Is it diamond? Like, is it good diamond dust?
He has pre-crushed this,
Okay.
so it is diamond dust.
I see. So are you telling me that I need 22 emeralds for this shit?
If they are just emeralds that are 100 each, but it is not as easy as you would think to find only 100 gold piece emeralds. There can be bigger emeralds.
Bigger emeralds means less that I need to collect.
Less that you'd need to collect.
Alright, I guess I better pick up a fucking job in the goddamn mine. God damn it.
But with that piece of information, you two head out. Now, the thing that needs to be said, where are you guys sleeping?
I'm sleeping in the streets. That's a joke. Don't take me
She's
seriously.
from the
Tiber's in.
streets.
Tiber's in?
Tiber's in. It's
Okay.
a free room. I'm not turning it down.
Yeah, I might as
You
well
can
sleep
sleep
with
outside of town,
If I get murdered by some vampires, I get murdered by some vampires. It's how it
or
goes.
you could Liamon's tiny hut outside of town.
I don't know
could
how to
just,
do that.
Sleep in Tiber's in.
I'm not doing that.
All right, who's sleeping in the inn? Who's going somewhere else?
I'm sleeping.
I'm sleeping in the inn.
I'm sleeping in the inn.
I'm leaving town.
Ha, loser.
Rem leaves town. Okay.
See you around.
The rest of you enter into this kind of sullen inn as a kind of very gaunt-looking human man just kind of looks over and says, "Hello, is there anything I could do for you?
You were told we have rooms here.
On whose authority?"
Lord of the city.
Outright, no. Bless your souls. Here you go. Then there's 5 rooms upstairs, but let me know when the 5th one comes in. They're already unlocked.
Sounds good.
As you guys head upstairs, there are multitudes, about 15 different rooms on the 2nd level. And as you go up to try the first door, Zexit opens without an issue.
Sick, I'm going in.
It is a fairly cozy, but still back with this almost like sense of weight that is still present everywhere in this town, except for, as Rem and Nime found out, in Yumta's shop.
How much time is left in the day?
A couple hours, maybe. The sun is already going down.
Why is so? You just said we feel this pressure other than in his shop.
Yeah.
Fuck, dude. I wish I would have checked that. I'm gonna go back tomorrow and check it. You know what? I'm going to try and check it. I'm probably not gonna know shit about it because the role you're probably gonna ask for is like religion. I don't know nothing, but I'm gonna try.
I will let you know, you already failed the Arcana roll.
Oh yeah. Oh god damn it. Okay.
So that's the roll you got. Sorry.
I'll go look for Mistress Temple real quick, since I know it's here.
Okay. Make an investigation check.
That's gonna be a 17.
17. As you go through, you can see a section of the town, this kind of ridged area before it drops down into the cove that Rem and Nime had previously gone into, where you can see a row of old, in various shades of disrepair, churches. Make a religion check.
Cool. Well, okay. 23. I got a natural 20.
And that would help. As you go through, you're able to pick out several different gods, whether it is Ilmater, the god of endurance, Helm, the god of protection, Bahamut, and just basically going through all of this, you can see all of these different shrines, and then all of these. So we've got all of that, and then there is at the kind of top, just sunken in by far the most disrepair, is a small shrine, mostly buried, and you can see the shrine itself is quite large in what it is, with a small, almost like an impression of what would have been a creek or a fog or a mist, and then imprinted in the ground, very worn and cracked, you can see 7 different stars. And you can see what appears to be the ruined church to Mistra.
And there's no acolytes anywhere?
No. It looks long abandoned.
And there's no statue of Mister anywhere?
There is not.
Dang, okay.
I would like
Back
you to
to
make an
the
investigation check.
Oh, okay. 19.
19. As you kind of go among the rubble, as most of these places at least have, like, you can see the foundation of the church. This one, there is nothing but rubble, and the symbol in the middle. And buried among the rubble, you're able to pull out a small piece of a carved stone hand.
As if there was a statue here at one point
Mm-hmm.
that had hands.
That had hands.
Okay.
And that is what you find.
All right, I'll head back to the inn.
All right. Rem, what are you up to?
I'm leaving town.
South?
I'm going to the outskirts of town until the feeling stops.
Okay. As it takes a while, and it actually goes quite into night. The sun dips fully below the horizon as you are walking, until it's not... You can feel the weight lessen in the same way, but it moves from your chest, your stomach, to the back of your mind. You're not able to stop thinking about that crypt.
How far out of town until the feeling goes away?
Until the feeling in your chest?
The feeling altogether
It does
goes
not.
away.
It just simply moves from your chest to the back of your mind.
So even if I go miles out,
You are currently about 5 miles out of town.
and if I go 6 miles, 7 miles, the feeling doesn't stop at all.
It has only shifted into the back of your mind.
And I'm talking about, like, not my personal reasons. I'm talking about the rot of the town. How far does the
Yeah.
rot go?
The rot seem to have stopped, which was this weight in your chest and your stomach. It just has been replaced by this new feeling as you've moved further and further away from it.
And that's my personal feeling.
You feel like it might be, yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna go to like where the feeling in the chest stops, and I'm going to establish the REM dome.
The REM dome?
The stone-shaped REM dome.
All right. Break me off a piece of that. How does Rem make his dome?
Well, we're gonna use 2 stone shapes to make the dome.
Okay.
So I have space.
Okay. What's it look
And
like?
then it looks bad. It basically looks like an igloo,
Okay.
more or less, but it doesn't have an entrance, and like it only has like the hole at the top. It's like a chimney-like structure, so air can get in and out.
Okay. But nothing can get in or out.
The only thing that can get in is like maybe some bugs or like a bird and a bat, but like if a wolf or something tried to climb in, or a person, it would only be able to get like in one at a time.
Okay. Fair enough. All right. So, you go to bed and you all sleep. Okay. Rem, as you sleep, you almost hear something. This whisper, this plea coming from the ear.
Can I focus on it?
Yeah, you just lying there. You can still feel almost as if like you haven't slept at all. Like you're just your eyes are closed, but you can't focus. You just hear this. Rem, I call on you. Rem, I call on. Rem. And then you snap up almost like, luckily you made it a tall dome, otherwise you would have slapped your head against it. And then you just look, and non-intrusive as much as a nightmare could be, it's morning already. You're no longer exhausted. All of you get your long rest. And Rem, you're able to walk a couple of hours into town.
I have room.
You're able to ride a couple of... How do you get out of your igloo?
The chute at the top.
You literally said only a bird could fit through.
I said if a wolf or a person wanted to come in, they could only do it one at a time. Is that not what I said to everyone here?
I want confirmation, because the only thing I remember is me asking...
like it's
how
big
do
enough
things
for like
get
a bird
through?
or like a
You
bug
said,
or something
I remember
to get
birds and bugs. I
Did
do
you not hear
remember...
the part where I started talking about like if a wolf or something wanted to get in, it would have to go one at a time?
I must have spaced that. I need... any...
Mm,
I can give
I-
verbal confirmation.
Okay.
I was gonna say I vaguely remember it.
Okay.
The memory does.
That's fine. That's
I
fine.
cleared everyone's memory of that time. This is the demon magic working. They all think they remember. They don't actually remember.
Yeah. So you guys meet. Rem meets you outside of Tiber's Inn.
I gotta change my spells before I go though.
Yeah.
So I'll just do that.
You're able to change your spells, but the 5 of you meet outside. The day is yours.
How was the inn? Was it fantastic?
It wasn't fantastic, but on the sliding scale, it is nowhere near the worst place you have slept. It is by far better than any camping you've done. And, you know, some of you might have taken it as a plus. It was very quiet. The town is dead silent. But all of you are awake. What's the plan?
How long do we plan on staying underground?
As long as
Until the job
necessary.
is done.
Jesus, okay. JC, can I go by shit.
At like worst case scenario, Rem can make food for us.
I was gonna say, can I like buy 20 rations?
Absolutely.
I actually want to venture along with Nime on this.
It will cost you 100 silver or 10 gold pieces or 1 platinum. Your choice.
1
platinum.
platinum, please.
Okay.
Wait, what? 1 platinum, 10 platinum? Are
1
you telling me?
platinum or 10 gold or 100 silver. Those are the breakdowns.
1 platinum for me then.
All right. As Gil follows Nime, that is just going and buying these wrapped, basically rations.
Damn, making holy.
I want to talk to Rem while they're doing that.
Absolutely.
Did you say 10 or 20 rations? I think it was 20.
I said 20.
20. Okay. That's what I thought. Thank you.
Gil, you're up first.
For what?
I thought you said you were following Nime.
Yeah, I was just buying rations.
Oh, okay. Are you doing the same?
Yeah, just 20 rations.
Okay. So then, Zex, as they leave off to go buy rations, you and Rem are just kind of walking throughout the town.
I'm making holy water today.
Okay. Let's say that you've gone and, like, sat at a bench, and Rem is currently making holy water.
Okay.
You're gonna let me know how many hours it takes, because it's an hour-long process per vial, and I have to use a first-level spell slot for this.
Okay.
Rem. What do you know about the god Mistra?
Nothing. I know nothing, right?
Yeah, she's not someone you're familiar with, as she is not an Agrarian god.
Okay.
This is the best conversation ever.
I could do you want me to attempt a religion check of some capacity? I'd assume I have nothing.
She's not in the wheelhouse of you, and you haven't gone out of your way to go after Papihos gods. So I'm just gonna hold it there. Just
Nothing.
simple.
No bells.
How many hours are you dedicating towards holy water?
As many as these guys are gonna let me do. It's the beginning of the day, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do this until about a little bit after noon, and then towards the evening I want to go see what they brought up from the crypt, and then on the next day is when I think I want to go down.
Okay.
So you tell me how many hours I have.
Generally, we'll say you're able to make 5 of them. 5
So
hours.
Do you have to use a second level slot?
Okay.
Does it make more or better holy water? Probably not.
I don't think it does. But everyone
water?
Everyone kind of reconvenes. And if you all want to, we can say that you guys head up to Dentor's castle and inquire with him about what they brought up. And
Right back.
what he shows you all is first, he kind of goes through and just says that, well, we know that there is a second level to the crypts that we were we knew about, but were unable to map. How it brought such simple things as pieces of art, and he goes and shows you these large, fancy pieces of art that show, like, very, I would almost say, Van Gogh-esque, of the paint blending and showing, almost looking like wind is perpetually blowing through these pieces of art. And you can see one image is of this, like, sprawling, roiling ocean. And then another is of a castle on a similar hill that this one is on. It looks eerily similar, but is very clearly a different castle, as there is 5 different towers coming off of it. But half of it looks pristine and perfect and is in bright colors and lights, and the other half is drenched in black and red and is beginning to fall and crumble. As he shows you several of these pieces of art. Then other stuff he shows you, like just general trinkets and different things, as he almost kind of gives you guys a general lesson of where his explorers were able to date these, and a lot of them are being dated before the Age of Revival, which all of you... Oh, there goes the fucking... Jesus.
I was trying to say one could say trinkets and baubles.
Trinkets and baubles.
Paid for in blood.
As he dates it, as his explorers dated it further back than the Age of Revival, which you all know is the age that you are all currently in. As it is currently 567 of Age of Revival, you know that if it came from before, it is at the very least anywhere from 600 plus years old. These are extremely old artifacts. And then, very morbidly, the Lord Triton brings you out into the graveyard, as there is a section of around 50-ish fresh graves. Fresh is a relative term, as some of them are quite fresh, looking very, very new, and then some of them have some wear on them, but Rem, someone who is very familiar with this, would be able to pick out that all of these graves are within the year. As the rest of what has been given us is just simply death. There's no bodies in these graves, as they have not returned. But it is fitting for others to see this before they venture down.
Might not be able to see the dragon.
We're giving these boys a good pray. There she goes. There she goes again. A prayer for these, prage for these men and women.
Of course.
I'm doing that, actually. Like, that's what I'm doing. I'm doing a prayer for them right now. I'll roll anything you want me to.
Just roll me a d20.
19.
19. As you kind of recite general funeral rites, You were afraid that you'd get this kind of feeling. The rites sound hollow, like a promise that has yet to be fulfilled. This place does not agree with you. And you shudder to think of being buried beneath this rotten ground.
Could I use my holy water to attempt to purify this area in just like a spiritual sense?
You could use a holy water if you want to.
I'm gonna use one of my holy waters to attempt to purify this in a spiritual sense.
Yeah, you dash the holy water around, and you watch as the ground just starts slightly smoking.
Are they seeing the ground smoking as I'm dumping holy water on it?
Yeah.
How do you guys feel? How do they feel about that? I'm inside checking everyone. Tell me your feelings.
It's very apparent Gil feels undisturbed. He really doesn't care that much.
Alex doesn't care. You're welcome to do whatever you want.
The ground is smoking. Well, what's Lord Triton doing?
Well,
How does he
he's
feel?
not paying attention at the moment, and then he turns around and sees, and his eyes kind of go, please, do not anger anything further than you need to.
It's too late for that. They can't rest like this. Whether they're in it or not, they can't rest like this.
Will you be descending today?
Tomorrow.
I will keep my eye watchful for you then. Till then, prepare yourself in any way needed. For the sake of expediency, you all leave, feeling however you feel.
I got holy water time.
And you
The rest of
guys
the day.
are able to do what you wish for the last. There's a couple of hours, maybe 2, 3-ish hours. So if anyone want to do anything for the last part, I know Rem wants to make holy water. But if anyone else, otherwise, we'll go to the next morning.
I want to go check out the temple one more time, just to see if anyone else has stopped by yet.
Okay. You kind of go through, spend some time around the Temple of Mystra. No one's there. Abandoned.
Can I maybe move around the rubble a little bit? I know I found like statue hands in there.
Sure.
I'm thinking maybe is there some underground portion of the shrine?
Sure, as you kind of move around, I'll let you make another investigation.
$22.
22, as you're looking around and moving and shifted, almost every piece of rubble has been shifted after you are through with it and you feel confident there is nothing more to this site than an old, mostly forgotten grounds.
Okay.
Okay. So, Rem, if you wish to, you can make up to 4 more holy waters.
Okay. We had enough for 3 more, so it all works out.
Okay. And you guys, Rem, I assume, heads out of town because they don't want to stay in Tiber's Inn.
I can stay in the inn tonight.
Okay. And speak now or forever hold your peace. All right. As the five of you wake up and walk through the cobblestone streets, there's a mist that kind of fills everything and clings to your skin as you traverse upwards towards the castle. As the five of you get closer, you can see Lord Triton waiting by the cemetery. So he looks upon each of you with tired eyes and just silently moves and just unlocks the gate. Moves open. Five of you slowly walk in. And the gate does not shut behind you. Instead, you just hear the silent, somber, shuffling sound of Lord Triton's feet as he slowly disappears. The five of you are outside of the crypt. Do what you wish.
We still have to reopen the door, right?
You still have to reopen the door.
Okay, well, it looks like it's my time to shine. Except I want to open the door. Like I'll push it over to the side that it didn't sink into,
Okay.
basically.
You trying to do it gently, or are you just crashing it open?
I mean, it's just a big stone slab, isn't it?
Mhm.
So ideally, if we go in here once, nobody has to go in again. So I'll just kind of shove it over. I'm not
Do not
too...
break that stone.
If
It has to go back into place when we're done.
does it have to?
You want to leave it open?
So no 10-foot hole is what you're saying?
Yes.
Don't break the door.
But what I'm saying is, ideally, once we do go in, it won't be scary, spooky crypt anymore, and we won't have to deal with things like coming out or
A
like
crypt is still a crypt. It has to close.
uh.
Don't break the door.
If we
If
use
I-
the portable ram, will it break the door, JC?
Yes.
Oh my!
It's a massive sliding stone door.
Open the door and don't break it.
So yeah, if I like
How? I
go
thought it
on the
was
side
heavy.
and just push it over, so it's like, you know how it's like the four sides of like a rectangle, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's standing on the short side.
Mm-hmm.
If I push it over so it falls onto the long side, is that gonna break it? Is like
You don't know.
I'm gonna pose this
open it.
question. I'm gonna pose this question to Rem and see what he
Just
thinks.
open it normally. If it gets stuck again, we'll just get it out, but it shouldn't be an issue.
All right, I'll just quote unquote open it normally.
All right, make a strength check.
I hate
guided.
rolling dice in a dice rolling game.
I'm
That's the-
saving my inspiration this time.
Is guidance D4?
Yes.
Haha, I'm learning. Oh, everything's gone wrong. I'm once again a weak boy. Oh goodness. This is my thing. Why do I suck at this? 15. That's terrible.
To slide it, it's not that hard, as you realize that it is free from the ground. As you,
I have a very ashamed look on my face. I'm
Okay,
still
as-
ashamed of my
it
of my
takes a
lack of
second,
strength.
but you move it. And as you all see what is revealed to you, dark, stairs, stone leading down. What is the marching order? As it is one by one.
I mean, I can probably unless do we want Ren to go first? Rum then Gil.
We can do Gil, then Rum, then Neem,
Mm-hmm.
Six,
Probably, I was gonna
and
say
Son at the
Six
back.
Son. Yeah,
Cool.
I'm down with that.
You're not even Gil, you're Gag, by the way.
Oh, Gag. Oh, okay. Might be.
Do we not have a battle map for this?
Please shut up, please, right now.
Oh,
Don't speak.
you know, see,
As-
Jazz. You know, like
As
the
you
metaphor,
descend
they say, like,
into the crypt,
Jazz,
Oh,
Gil,
no.
Rem, Nime, and Zex.
he said it wrong.
Oh, Jazz, I hate you. Jazz, I hate you.
Literally anywhere you don't say, "Oh, it's
I
been a
needed
quiet
to
night
know.
tonight," because then that makes it worse.
This was
I
great.
hate you.
You've made it worse.
You enter into a
Oh, no.
stone-walled, black curled stone as the first passageway leads to an intersection with a large brass pot in the middle and 3 ways to go. Gil, ahead of you, as that is the only way you can see currently, as you do have dark vision, and you guys realize if you do
I have
not
dark
have
vision?
dark vision,
No, he doesn't.
oh, Rem can see it then.
Why-
If you don't have
Why
dark
would I
vision,
have it?
you are blinded at the moment.
Who? Hold on.
Dead ass blind.
It
Yeah,
is
how many
standard
people in our
darkness.
party have dark vision?
Sound off if you have dark vision.
I have
Suna does
dark
not.
vision.
There's only 2 of us.
Okay, so seeing as I'm at the head of the group, I'll light a
I don't-
torch.
I don't
Okay.
And I'm-
think so.
I'm
I
fine
don't think
with
I have
that.
dark
You
vision.
do not,
have-
Nime. Rem and Zex.
Oh
Have
man,
dark
only
vision.
9.
So Gil, you light a torch in one hand and it fills, and you can see that passageway go through.
I'm just gonna kind of wait for Rem to tell me where to go.
Which way were people going? Let's start with the left and see how it looks.
I'll take my bad self. I'll take it. Oh, wait. Can I step on the little? What was this little brass bowl in the middle
So
again?
it's a brass vase.
vase. Okay.
It's like
How
a
big is it?
large. It's the size of you. It's like a large, almost
Whoa.
like urn. But
That's
it looks
really big.
ceremonial. Yeah, it's quite big.
That's
Any
a
markings
large
on it?
vase.
As you do, there are small green markings, almost like grass that has risen up at the bottom, but it's in paint.
Um,
Any symbols or anything I can read?
There are no symbols.
can I see if it's like bolted or fixed into the ground? Just like move it around a little bit.
This is the first encounter.
Sure.
Gil's mind is invaded by a body snatcher.
Make an investigation check.
DC can't be too high, right?
Can he be guided?
Oh, hi. Yes, please. I hope I can because I need it.
I haven't heard the roll.
Be guided.
You know, I'm gonna be completely honest right now. I have only rolled ones on my guidances.
1 is better
Oh.
than nothing.
Yeah, one's like
true.
for a cantrip, one's better than nothing.
Yep. No, that's a big ol' 6.
6.
It's a vase. It probably might be able to move. Maybe.
So,
Oh no, this is where Gil dies. Hope everyone had a good time.
Gil kind of looks and moves, and you can hear it shift. And then you can hear Gil,
Oh, no.
this stop as you're holding this vase.
I'm gonna glance over my shoulder to see if Rem heard that.
Nope. Only you.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna stop.
Okay.
Because that feels like the right thing to do, and I'm a lawful good character, so I'm going to.
Please make me a dexterity check.
Oh no!
Everything I did what it asked me to.
If it's a check, can he be guided?
Nope.
No.
But it's a check.
Don't worry about it.
But it's a check.
And Gil gets hit with a fireball.
This is illegal. Can he see it?
Can I see it?
No, you cannot.
Ah, not even with the torch.
No.
Ah, my goodness.
Our passes
14?
aren't high enough to catch
14.
anything.
Gil,
I mean, we can't see anything. Oh,
as it
that's gracious.
sets it down, it scrapes, and you can hear this move out. The rest of you can see as this dull light of the torch that Gil is holding up, as the sword sheathed in his other hand as he's been moving the pot, you watch as suddenly the black stone walls on either side of him look like they suddenly stretch,
Well,
as if there's
Don't-
pressure being put on either side.
don't put me into the back rooms again, please.
And then
Go, Delilah.
Last time was so bad.
Go to the back.
and then you watch as 1, 2, 3, 4 total hands reach out. I would like all of you to roll initiative.
Our passes weren't high enough to
Oh.
see these things.
When they're
Okay.
in a wall, they do not gain passive, they do not gain stealth.
Oh,
They
yeah.
came
They
out of
literally
the
just
wall.
cannot be perceived.
God.
All right. Hey, boys and girls.
Pog!
Okay.
How many are rolled more than a 5 for once?
Yes! 8!
Yeah!
All right.
Man,
25 to
really pulling
20.
a Tuna out here. Hold on.
23!
23.
Calm
Oh.
me. Calm. I haven't even picked up my dice yet. Oh, I ain't up there. Never mind. Don't worry about
So
me.
we got a 23 from Rem. Anyone else?
23 from Nime.
Jesus.
What's your dex?
My deck.
I mean, it has to be higher than 3, so
You
yeah.
would hope so.
Yeah, I mean, I rolled 19. I have a dex of 5, it looks like, on the sheet that I have, at
That
least.
math don't add up.
19 plus 4 is 23.
That's 24. I lied.
So
Yeah.
24. So Nime goes first. All right.
Rolling that 20 and she fucking shits
anyone
on it.
20 to 15?
18.
Also 18.
What's your dex?
Plus 2. Come at me, loser.
Plus 3.
Ah!
Man, it's
I'm
almost
a
like I already
failure.
know.
You know what? Yeah, that's probably a good thing,
I
honestly.
love Suna rolling her normal
Through
initiative.
2,
6.
maybe 3. Yeah! Some things never change.
However, the first initiative does not matter as you guys are
Initiative?
surprised.
Do we need to
Oh.
dice jail the Bronco dice?
Oh, wait.
It was not
hold
the
on,
Bronco
hold on.
dice. So, don't worry about it. So,
Hold on.
Gilgamesh.
There might be weird things that I'm now remembering with being surprised that hold on, I'm feeling a little crazy, but oh, here we go. If you are surprised at the beginning of combat and aren't incapacitated, you can act normally on your first turn, but only if you enter rage before doing anything else on that turn.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember useful things.
Okay, so you won't be surprised, but there's still one going before you.
That's all right. I'm okay with that.
Okay.
I'll let them have it. They can die later.
They can die later. Alrighty. We are going to go into standard initiative as you all are surprised except for Gil, as Gil quickly is going to get smacked, possibly, and then
Nope.
be mad.
I am. I'm gonna be very upset about it.
So, Gil.
And they have disadvantage because of the cloak.
Except they were unseen attackers, so they only go to normal. So, the first one is going to attack as you watch these hands crawl out of the wall and push through, almost if it was a thick sludge that they just managed to traverse. as his hand swipes at you.
Ah, that's okay. Normal attack is better.
Is better than. Uh-oh. Oh, that's me. Hold on 1 second, as Discord has an issue. My God. We will hold for 1 second.
I see him talking
There we go. Now I'm back.
on stream. Okay.
My Discord just
There
stopped.
he is. Oh, that'll do it. Yeah.
All right. So,
The hate.
Gil,
Yep.
time for the first attack.
37.
37.
37. No. So
I wish.
as
I mean,
he
what?
moves across, does a natural 20 hit?
I mean, hey, it's pretty close to
I-
37, but yes, it does.
I can't do anything, can I?
No, you cannot because you are surprised. So
Can't even
Gil,
take reaction.
you are hit for
200. Even.
no.
Oh, I wish.
12 points of necrotic damage. And your strength is reduced by 4.
Oh my god.
Oh,
You know,
What is this thing?
As you just watch a hand reach out from the wall and go into Gil's chest.
I wanted to have a good time on this last session before I left. You know, I was looking forward to it, and now I'm just gonna leave really upset.
As Gil, you
Because I
look
thought things
down
like
at this ethereal hand that has planted itself into your chest, and you're pissed. It is now your turn, as long as you rage.
It does have to be the first thing that I do, and I mean, we know the whole spiel. Boots, rage. Well, I guess it'd be rage,
Boots.
boots.
You want to use your boots this early?
That's
We
a
got
good
a
point,
bit more to
actually.
go through.
We do have
it's
like
your
a whole
choice,
dungeon.
but
I'll just rage. It's all right. I don't need the boots. It's instinct, but no, just rage. I guess I can attack twice, so I'll take. I don't know. Do I just stab into the wall? Is that like?
You can see the hand that has attacked you. So if
Where
you want to
it-
slash
it's
it,
just-
it is
is it-
directly to your right. As you can see, it's this black marker that is in the wall.
But yeah, like, is it just originated like just from
It is
the
a
wall?
hand coming out of the wall. Yeah.
Just like, is it like kind of like a ghost, right? Like, there's no like origin that it's in the wall. It's just kind of like
It's just coming out of
clipping
the wall.
through
Yeah.
it. Okay, then I guess I'll attack the arm.
Sure.
Okay. Well, at least I still have a +10 to my hit, so. 27.
27.
Please tell me that hits.
That hits.
Yes. Okay, dicey dungeons.
Dungeons.
Dice.
don't take me back. Oh no.
Oh,
I just
no.
remembered I'm pissed.
Come on, Gil.
Sorry. I have to roll a lot of dice. There's a lot of things happening. I'm still mad.
You're rolling 4 dice.
It's a lot. Uh, 20.
Divide your damage.
4.
Okay. As you slash and a section of the arm comes off, but it is still in your chest.
What if I did it again?
You've hasted action, and that's it.
No, I didn't haste. I'm
You
not.
just
I'm not
attacked.
bootsing.
Okay, you're not
I'm,
bootsing.
yeah, I just raged and then attacked.
Absolutely, you're able to attack again.
You know what? I would love to do it again. A natural 20.
That will hit.
Yes. I got the dice. Oof. Oh, that's never happened before. 22. 22.
22. As with the second one, you kind of bring the first one across, dropping the torch to the ground, and then bring the second one across, and the arm fully dislocates, and you just see as the arm just turns to this ash in your chest and just drizzles out.
Do I feel stronger?
No, does not return.
That.
Remember your to hit. So your to hit changes, your damage changes. So, all right, Gil, is that your turn?
You hate me. Yeah.
All right. Well, as I said before, there are 3 other hands coming out of the walls. So, Gil,
Why is it just me? Why
You're
am
in the
I
front.
being bullied? I want Rum to be in front.
does a 16 hit you?
No.
Okay, as you're able to move out of the way.
Oh. Do they? They don't have advantage. No.
They
do,
don't
'cause they
they?
hit
Because
you.
his cloak already went off. Yeah.
But
I'm
thought
not really
they-
unseen anymore.
The first
thought
one
they-
wasn't that you killed. The other 3 aren't.
Right, but I thought they got advantage because it was a surprise. Do they get advantage for other reasons?
They get advantage because they're unseen, not
They're
because of
not really
surprise.
unseen anymore.
Surprise does not give
okay.
you. Yeah, but this is as they're coming out. So 16 doesn't
Okay,
hit.
so then, yeah, so they have advantage then.
Okay, 16. Yeah, 16 doesn't hit. 22 for the third,
Yep.
and then 15 for the fourth.
Nope.
Okay,
So one
one
hits.
more hit for 13
Lord,
points
I'm
of 13 points of necrotic damage, and your strength is reduced by 1 more point.
That's a lot better than 4.
As another hand sticks into your leg this time, and you all watch as Gil's leg almost like atrophies immediately. As you cough up, and there's just black bile that kind of spits from your mouth.
Ew.
That is
Gross.
all 4 of the shadows' turns. Nime.
He hates me.
Nime, you're first.
I don't want to go. Okay. What are we looking at? So these things can take like
Gil-
regular damage,
Gil
I guess.
cut
Is
one
the
of
best
their
way-
hands off.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna shoot him.
Yeah.
What, 12 arrows left? I'll take out my bow.
Okay.
Did you ever attend that handy dandy collapsible bow? You have a gun! What do you
Oh
using your
shit!
for? You have a gun!
Gun! Let me use my silvered bullets.
Okay.
I'm gonna do that.
Okay.
And I
Silver-
still have to roll the d20.
Don't shoot me in the head, but
you
go!
you still have to roll to hit.
Okay, I rolled an 18.
18 hits.
Okay. How many rolls do I have for this one? Is it still 3 attacks? 4
Yeah,
attacks?
it's 3 attacks. It's just you'll have to use 1 attack to reload after you fired 6 shots.
Okay, so can I hypothetically shoot all 3 of these black things twice?
If you action surge, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna do that then.
Okay. As
I'm gonna
Nime
roll.
pulls out the gun and just in the most unsafe way possible, but the funnest way possible, so
Yeah. Yeah.
as that's what matters.
And then do I need to roll for damage on that? I don't think so. I think it's just a set.
No, it's not a
Damage,
set
right?
damage. It is the 1d10 damage, but you
Yeah,
have to roll the
okay.
d20. So roll me in order. Just tell me.
So I have 18,
Mm-hmm.
20, not 20,
Okay.
and a 17.
Okay. So those are your first 3. Are you action surging or not?
There might be something deeper in here. I might want to save that.
All right. So you've put 2 shots into one and 1 into the other. That's what you're doing.
Okay.
So
Okay, yep,
roll
that's
your
fine.
d10 damage, and then you can roll your crit damage, and then you can roll your d10 again.
Okay. I rolled a 6
Okay.
in crit damage. What did I roll on that?
It's you roll the dice and double it,
Oh.
just like a normal
Okay,
crit.
so would that be 12 then? Or do I roll again?
You roll again because it's crit.
Okay, sorry.
It's
sorry.
the crit shot is
Okay.
different than the other.
10. I rolled a 5.
Okay.
And then, I rolled a 9.
Okay. So as the 3 shots go and zip, one of the like shadowed creatures that have come out like gets blasted with 2 shots as it rips into him, and the other one gets hit by 1 separate shot.
I enjoy some adult cartoons.
As Jesus, as one of them gets hit by a third one, as both of them remain standing. But that is Nime's turn. Rem, your turn.
The one that's hurt the most, from what I can tell, I needed to give me a dexterity saving throw.
Okay.
And the target gains no benefit from cover for this saving throw.
Alrighty. What are you casting?
Sacred Flame.
It nat 1'd.
That's 3d8. Where's the other d8? They all these dice look the same. It's not the best I've ever done. 16 damage. 16 radiant damage.
As you cast forth this radiant flame, you just hear this shriek gets pried from this creature as it just is engulfed and incinerated in flame no more.
How tall is this room?
The room is only about like 6-7 feet tall, so you could get off the ground, but it wouldn't be that much.
Could I try to squeeze my way to here?
You can move through other people's spaces. It just counts as difficult terrain. So yeah, you can definitely go through there.
Can I get here?
So you couldn't get there. You'd be above the vase.
Yeah, like broom movement.
Oh, because you have 50. Yes, you could move the 30 feet there. And yes, if some of you haven't noticed yet, and either if the audience hasn't noticed yet, these squares count as 10 feet. So you are able to hop on your broom and fly over there.
Wait, what the hell?
Yeah.
We're all large creatures now.
You're not large creatures. It's just multiple things can be in the space.
Is this because you made the dungeon and then decided I wanted to be bigger and just didn't fix it?
Nope. I did this on purpose. There are 2 opportunity attacks as you move through and past the walls, because there are creatures there.
There's one here and one here.
That is 2 creatures for 2 opportunity attacks.
If I'm taking opportunity attacks, I'm not moving.
Then you stay in the
'Cause
middle.
I thought they were like a bit of a ways away. Like, what walls are they in?
So they
Like
have
these?
moved up to next to Gil as they are attacking him. So if you move past Gil, you will get opportunity attacked.
Oh,
Does that also count? I know it's not my turn, but just in curiosity, will that also count if I rabbit hop over?
Rabbit hop does not provoke opportunities. But
Wait, why can't I rabbit hop?
The ceiling's only 7 feet high.
she's gonna pin missile herself. As you do that, you engulf one of them. The first shadow is dead, so Zex, your turn.
What do I have for range? All vicious mockery. Which one looks more hurt?
There's the one to the north side, as the other one hasn't been hit.
Okay, so all vicious mockery, that one.
Okay. Charisma, is it?
Wisdom.
Wisdom. That is
The
a
insult.
5.
That's a failure.
What's the insult?
We'll egg him again. Not again. For the
You-
first time.
You gotta save him
You
alive.
egg.
There it is.
All right, roll your damage.
That was bad egg damage. That's only 5 psychic damage.
5
It's
psychic damage as it kind of like twists, but it has disadvantage on its
Yep,
next
on
one.
a next attack roll.
Disadvantage is the important part.
All right.
Mhm.
Gale, it is now your turn.
My turn, you say?
It is.
His cloak resets, right?
Yes, it does.
It does. Okay, so we got 2 big old black holes.
Shadow
Oh.
creatures.
So with the squares being 10 feet, I mean, can I hit them from here, or do I have to go and, like, quote unquote, occupy the same space?
You
as them?
will occupy the same space.
Okay. So then, yeah, I guess I'll. No, but if I move up to that one can't get an opportunity, right? Because I'm technically like.
It technically should be like they're occupying the same spaces around you. There was just 4 of them. So it is there for you. This is made to be more of a map. It's the battle map will be a bit awkward, but it's okay.
That's fine, yeah. So I guess I'll just come over here to this one, yeah.
All right. So double disadvantaged opportunity attack. That is a 6.
Nope.
As it clearly misses as you go into the space of the other one, you can make your attacks.
I want to shank it
All right.
with my big ass sword. Oh, 28.
28 definitely hits.
The shanking will be done. Oh. Oh. Plus. Let me make sure my numbers are right. 29.
All right. As you carve across it, and it looks terrible as a large section gets thrown off in fire and metal, but it's still standing.
Okay, well, what if I do it again?
You are welcome to. Remember your strength modifier.
Yeah, I'm surprised I still got a 29. Ooh, 21?
That still hits.
See, this even if I'm this shows why I'm the best. This shows why I'm better than everyone.
Make a wisdom saving throw.
Please stop. $24.
24, and with that second slash, you dash this creature as it just into nothingness.
So can theoretically, could I, or do I see anything down this hall?
As the
Can
torch
I?
has been left, you cannot see anything down that hall.
Okay, that's fair. So I moved 10 feet, so I could go boom, boom.
If you want to.
I would love. Wait, where's the last one? Did we
Yeah, it's
did
up
we
top.
bonk the last one? No, didn't you say there was 4?
Yeah, there were 4.
One here that I killed, one here that I killed,
And Rem killed 1.
3. Oh, okay, I missed that. Okay,
You're good.
then yeah, I'm gonna bonk bonk. I mean, I can't hit it, but
All right.
I'm in its face or arm.
Well,
I don't-
it is the shadow's turn now.
Oh, good.
So it'll make an attack on you
With
Disadvantage.
disadvantage, yeah, because I
with
can see
a
it.
natural 1.
Ooh. I want to do the thing.
You're welcome to take your reaction.
Yes. Oh. That might be the decide. No. 18. Yeah, that still hits.
18 hits.
Ooh, that one was not as good. Yeah, 16. Ooh.
16. You are still able, with one mighty swing, to bring the greatsword down and dash the last shadow. And with that, you guys are in eerie silence again.
Did the torch snuff out?
I was gonna say, do I have to relight a new torch? Or can I,
I'm gonna
make
roll
that
for
one?
luck on that. It lasted until the battle, but it does die out. You use that torch.
Don't light another one. I brought something fun today.
Ketamine.
Ketamine! I'm casting daylight on my breastplate.
Whoa.
This massive light that just completely engulfs so much.
I was not ready for that.
Let me get
So-
the optics on daylight. It is 60 feet of bright light, and then an additional 60 feet of dim light.
As there's a general thing of some things that get covered, but as Rem walks forward, this will light up a lot. Basically, where you guys are going will be lit up.
I thought this would be a problem today, so I brought daylight just to be safe.
All right. So,
Let me see your chest, boy. Is his strength still sapped?
his strength is still sapped.
Can I medicine and arcana check him to see what I can do about this?
I'm a weak man now. I'm not in my prime anymore.
Yeah,
I'm on the decline.
Gilgamesh's strength went to a 13.
I want to determine if it's a curse or an ailment.
Sure. You
What
can
am I
make
rolling?
A medicine check
Right. Also,
Can I
the
be
fact
guided?
that
if you want to, since it's not like just in the moment.
Get guided medicine 21.
21. This is an ailment. This is
I
not
feel
a
ailed.
curse. This is something that has physically gotten into him and have taken a toll.
Can I guesstimate on how long it'll last, or is this
forever.
It's lingering, but it does
Oh,
not
that's-
look permanent.
Can I guesstimate how long it'll fade?
It looks like this could last hours. This does not look like a minute thing. This looks like hours.
I only have greater restoration today, so like, you want me to just leave you alone, or like, am I wasting a 5th level slot because you wanted to touch a pop?
I'm just gonna look down at Rem, annoyed.
You got any more of that? Do we have any more of that cream that I made?
I don't know. Do any of you have that cream?
No, but you know what I do
Honey?
have?
I thought
Honey.
Suna had it.
Jesus.
I do have all of my honey.
It hasn't been transitioned, and that takes time. I can't do that right now.
We violated the bee people for the honey.
Let me
You are some creepy people.
Hey, okay, to be fair, we didn't violate the bee people. We just bought the honey
Let's
from the guy who
summon
did violate the
It's
bee
called
people.
capitalism.
Yeah, capitalism.
Onga bunga, onga bunga,
Unga bunga. We reaching
What?
outside sources real quick.
onga bunga.
Rem's using his one lifeline.
Imagine if
Remy-
on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, they made you actually go like, I want to phone a friend. Onga bonga, onga bonga, onga bonga, and your friend just like descended from the ceiling, held up by wires, like the answer C, maybe, goodbye.
I feel confident that it's C. So long, my friend.
They just yeet him up by the rope, just ah! He's gone. They killed him.
Susie said much.
What is that?
So this is what is revealed by the daylight as Rem kind of walks through. As where the other two go.
What's that silver thing at the end of that hallway?
That is a stone door.
Ah, okay. We aren't separating, are we?
No.
We could.
Okay.
You can only
No,
go
no,
120
you-
feet from me before there's nothing. The people without
thought
dark vision
okay.
have to stay within 60. I'm telling you right now on my authority, if you go alone, you will die.
I was just curious. Which way do we want to go then?
JC, do I know which way to go?
You do not. You
Right
just
is
know
right.
You have to get deeper.
Right is right.
I was actually thinking left,
Are you
just
kidding?
for this thinner path. I don't know
Let's just go and see what happens.
Right is right.
Just have to go deeper.
though. Okay.
We can try right, but from left we can see that it kind of ends a little bit over here, right?
It's looking like it is shortening into a thinner path. Something that you'd have to squeeze
Yeah,
through.
where the right one is
That's
the door.
that's 5 feet. We can get through that.
Yeah, you can squeeze through that just fine. As it is,
Gil might be
again,
shouldering the walls, but
Gil would scrape the walls if he's not squeezing through. But if you guys all turn sideways, you'd be able to easily get through that.
Let's go straight first and see what happens.
Okay.
All right. Move yourselves in a marching order.
Why he's so big?
I think
Yeah. Okay.
What's wrong with him? Fix him. He's sick.
What did you do?
You know how we
I don't know. I just moved him. I
Yeah.
just think about the movement.
Please.
Why am I so big? Help me!
We're all large. Oh my goodness.
Oh,
We're all
Well,
so
oh wait.
Turn us back.
We've all been ailed by large. Oh, and there's no going back either.
Oh
It's
god.
called Clifford the Big Red Dog syndrome. Get it right.
But none of us are loved. What do you mean?
As this way, and then another door.
Where the fuck did Suda? Where did Sun get 5 whole jars? She's got 5 dosages, I believe. What are these things?
Those are doors.
Doors.
What the
Also,
hell?
am I getting Suna says to take the jars. 5 whole jars. So am I being ointed by
So
Am I
those
being
those jars, I believe.
jars of ointment? Whatever that is.
A jar would technically, because we were using jars as increments of 5. So I think she means 5 doses.
One. So
is what she
basically
has.
one jar.
1 jar, 5 doses. I believe is
Yeah.
what she. Because that is all that I made.
Okay, so
Oint me.
if you wish to apply some of it to you, or eat some of the honey, I guess, you'd regain 2d8 plus 2 hit points. If you are poisoned, it cures the poisoned, and if you are affected with a specific disease, you are cured of it.
This isn't a disease
Right.
though, is it?
So wait,
It is.
Is the honey what the jars are? I'm so
No,
confused.
the-
Is that
the
a separate
honey-
thing?
The honey only gives you bonuses when you take a short rest and when you use hit dice. I used the honey to make an actual ointment that cures you of poison, disease, and heals you. If you have just honey that's not ointment, it's not going to do what we need it to do.
Wow.
So
okay.
so I'm being ointed and I get 2d8 plus 2.
Yes.
And do I get my strength back? Is that
Let me find out real quick.
because is it a disease or is it
It's
If it's a
Other.
disease, it would go away.
If
If
it
it's
is-
a curse,
a disease. Well, this will be fun. Although
Stop,
Rem
don't say that.
identified it as not a curse per se, it does
doesn't
not go
does it?
away from the ointment.
Ugh.
It counts as neither.
So
But
how
I
do I
do get-
fix this?
But I do get 2d8 plus 2 healing,
You
don't
do
I?
get 2d8 plus 2 healing.
Yes!
Do I have to greater restoration this?
You don't know?
Oh, wow. I love getting 5 HP back.
You rolled a
Great.
1 and a 2?
Yeah! Listen, it has not been my night. I have a 13 in strength. I've been rolling bad all day. I just want it
As
to be over.
Gil's
man.
doing this. Gil, this is becoming to like kind of set in on you. This was the first, not even just section, but just first room of this
Oh,
place.
gosh.
And it's kicking your ass.
No, I said it earlier. I don't take any side. Nothing bad happens to me. And this ain't bad.
I can greater restoration you, but like that's all that I can do.
How many of those do you
It's
have, though?
expensive.
Yeah, like it feels like a big investment.
It is a big
Just-
investment.
Take the 13 for
As-
now, and maybe it'll fix
Just
itself.
run with it.
As
That's a couple
you guys
hours.
are sitting down here thinking about it, Gil
I
still
wanna
kind of
keep-
drooling this black ichor. Rem, you get a message.
Oh,
Okay.
It is from Varder.
Okay.
Oh.
Excuse me for interrupting. I know you're on a mission. However, Dicarian troops have requested the champion to come and advise in strategy meetings. If he is able to come,
Oh.
please send him.
How do we feel about me using my 7th level spell slot to send Gil back?
We
to
can't send
wherever?
him back. We need him down here.
Do we?
I mean, but
You're our muscle. We need you. It's your choice, but
well, okay. But to be fair, I don't know this has been sent. I'm just
Well,
gooping.
I have a minute to figure this out.
I'm just gooping
Yeah.
and gobbing. So am I being relayed this information?
They want you to come back for a meeting with the troops from Dakaria, but we kind of need you here.
No, we
It
can
sounds
handle
like
this
they
without
need
him.
me as
No,
well.
no, we can't.
We can.
No, we
I
can't.
have faith.
No,
Rem.
and my faith tells you you're fucking wrong. You don't know what I know. You're wrong.
Rem.
We need every hand we can get. It's his
Becoming-
choice.
The champion of Dakaria means I signed up for the obligations that come along with it. If they are requesting my presence as the champion, then I must go. That's the end of it.
Do it alone. I'll let them know the champion's on his way. End of transmission.
quick and dirty.
That seemed so ingenuine.
Yeah,
It
like
is
this-
ingenuine.
Ooh, yeah.
No one here understands a fucking thing. They don't know. You know what? It's not their job to know. It's mine.
Still,
So you just walking out?
I mean, unless somebody says otherwise or has a better means of transportation that isn't detrimental, I'll just find a way there.
Okay. Bye.
Gil, if there's anything you wish to, because you do have this thought in your mind that they are probably in for a rough time. If there's anything you wish to leave behind with them, you are welcome to do so.
On my way out, I will give Suna the 20 rations and 9 torches that I have.
Okay.
And I think I don't think there's anything else. No. That seems adequate.
Okay.
And I guess I'll go find Lord Triton and kind of talk to him and see if he can find me a way out.
Okay.
A way to Dacaria, I guess.
All right. As Gil heads his way out, the four of you are left with this presence, this weight, this uncomfortable nature. The muscle of your group, the wall that has been able to block so much pain for all of you, you watch him walk out and just realized this has just gotten a whole lot more serious. And that's where we're ending the session. Welcome to the underground of Dentor.
We'll be fine. Everything's fine. It's all
No,
fine.
no, no. We're all going to
We're
die.
fine.
We're all going to die down
We're
here.
totally fine.
We're not. You don't know what I know.
Y'all are more than fine. You'll be okay.
Yeah,
Everything's
we're
fine.
fine
We're
now.
fine. Everything's fine. We're good.
I'm
We're
prepared. Friday, I have a handy dandy tool that will allow us to take a long rest down here.
Y'all also have
Yeah,
20
it's
more
called
days
eyes.
rations
mouse
of
tool?
food.
How many?
It's
a
a
lot.
secret. It's not quite a secret tool. I'll tell everyone if JC wants to know so we can talk about it with our final moments on stream so that the people know what we're getting into. I've got a plan.
Interesting.
Would everyone like to know what special tool I've brought today?
Yes.
I'd love to.
You're a welcome
Temple
to
of
share
the
with
Gods. I've brought Temple of
Perfect.
the Gods.
We'll be fine.
It is a
Everything's
1 hour
fine.
casting time of which no harm can get inside of it short of disintegrate.
I'm popping
I don't
caps and
think
undead asses.
skeletons-
I think we'll be good. We'll be fine.
Me may return in with a strap. Oh my god.
I think skeletons know how to disintegrate.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's your fault for leaving to go do a strategy meeting. You don't have a fucking strategy.
I don't, but they said, "Hey, come help us strategize," and so I'll figure it out.
This is just the backdoor way of getting you out of here. So if we all die, that's on your conscience. You left us here to go fucking be a loser.
No, I've actually talked like briefly with JC about this, but I mean, I knew, you know, from the beginning of being like the champion of, if I am ever requested or something happens, that is the role that I'm fulfilling, and that is like what I am doing. And now it's happened.
I have been requested, so I don't have a choice. If I
I've
gotta
also
do it
been
alone, I
requested.
gotta do it alone.
Mhm.
We've both been requested. Mine's just better than yours.
Sure. You go. I'm gonna say this after the stream just in case it's offensive.
Okay.
I walk in, I touch the vase, I
Um,
chop up some hands, I leave.
All right. Well, as a new
Walk in,
month
that place
starts
smells
in-game
beautiful.
time, we descend into the underground. We'll catch back up with everyone and push forward into the darkness, hopefully with Suna until, regretfully, it seems like we're trading Gil, but we'll be happy to have Alpha back soon. It's just a fun game for us all, but thank you everybody so much for watching. Thank you, Carmary and Akin Snowberry for following. We love this game. We love yelling at each other. But you guys are the reason why it's on Twitch and YouTube. Make sure to follow if you haven't already. Make sure to subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. And if you want to catch up with the campaign, the other 70 episodes are on YouTube. It's a good time. But thank you everybody so much for watching. You all take care, and I will see you all in the next video or stream. Bye guys. Take care.